All right. Go live. Here we are. Good old TikTok. Get the music going. Lisa Valdez, hello. How's it going? Dark Mark, welcome. We are here to debate. Here's the debate of the night. Actually, I didn't watch the debate. So can somebody tell me who won? Let's make this political. What could go wrong? What could possibly go wrong? Just kidding. Let's not make this political. I didn't hear the candidates talk about porn tonight, though. Did you? Welcome, everybody. My name is Austin Hamilton, also known as the Porn Coach, here to talk about asking the question, is porn cheating? Is it cheating to be watching pornography in a committed monogamous relationship? Is that cheating? Here to answer your questions. Here to debate, if you want to debate. Here to have you share your story, if you want to share your story and be heard. Maybe challenge a little bit, share your perspective. But most importantly, if you live in the United States of America, who won the debate? I didn't watch the debate. Do I even dare ask that question here? All right. What if it's a video we made? Well, it's still porn. May not be cheating because I'm imagining that there's consent there. Hannah, what's up? Dude, Hannah. 51,000. How do you do that, Hannah? We need to talk. Can we talk about that? I need help. I'm ready. I need another account up to 10,000. If you want to help me out with that, Hannah, send me a message. Let's make it happen. All right. So if you're in a committed monogamous relationship and you've said something like, I love you, only you, if you watch pornography, is that cheating? John Schultz, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, bro?
Not much. What's up with you?
Same shit, man. Nothing much.
Cool. Well, is porn cheating?
No, bro.
No, bro. Okay. Tell me more.
How's that cheating? You're not doing intercourse with nobody?
I'm asking you. You said it's not cheating. I'm curious why.
It's not. Just you're not doing intercourse with nobody. How can that be cheating?
Okay. So at what point does it become cheating? What point does cheating become cheating?
Once you stick something in something else.
You can't hear them? They say they can't hear you. So the moment of penetration is when it becomes cheating for you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. How
Oh.
are you going to be cheating with a video? Like, that doesn't even make sense. A video of someone that you never met or you'll never meet. That's like saying you have an imagination is cheating.
Hold on a second. They can't hear you, man. Hold on one sec. Please hold. Technical difference. You can only hear a buzz. Maybe it's just this guy. But why would I be able to hear him?
Can you hear me, guys?
Hold on.
Well, you coach people to not watch porn or something?
Do you guys hear him now? Here, say something again, man.
Yo, what's up, man?
All right. Now they can hear you. All right. Technical difficulties.
But
My
yeah,
bad.
no.
All right. Yeah, so I coach people to not watch porn. That's correct.
No, but yeah, no, porn isn't cheating, bro.
Okay. But like you were saying before, in your opinion, cheating begins at the moment of insertion. Is that correct?
Or physical touch, yeah.
So physical touch or insertion?
Yeah,
Which
but
one?
both of those.
Both. Okay, so physical touch. So
But you have to physically touch.
what if you're sexting somebody? Is that cheating?
I mean, that leads to cheating, yes.
All right. So what if you send a picture of your eggplant to somebody else? Is that cheating?
I mean, that's not all the way, but that could lead to cheating, yes. But what does that have to do with porn?
Well, porn usually involves pictures of eggplants.
Yeah, but that's like watching a movie, or that's like imagining something.
Okay. So if you're watching a movie of eggplants and other people having sex and you're imagining having sex with them, would you say that's cheating?
No, that's not, because those people don't really exist in your reality. You would never meet those people. You would never get in contact with those people.
Okay. Are you in a relationship? Do you have a girlfriend or anything?
Yeah.
You do? Is she there? Can we talk to her?
No, what the fuck?
What would she feel about this? Like, does
Nah,
she
she wouldn't
have
say
your
that
same
was
opinion?
cheating. Yeah, she would have my same opinion.
Okay. So she wouldn't care if you're watching many different pictures of other women having sex on the internet and masturbating to it. She'd be like, "Yeah, this is great."
I mean, she probably think it's weird. I mean, no girl probably would be all jolly about that, but I don't think they would think that's cheating.
Interesting.
I think
Yeah,
a girl.
Faith, a girl last night actually did prove that point that I make frequently. How do you know you're never going to meet him? Because somebody last night did actually meet him. They met the person
Well,
on the
I think
screen.
a girl. If a girl went through your phone, she would rather see some porn than you in contact with another girl, right?
Well, maybe, but maybe she would rather that. But actually, and I got this one disproved again today for the millionth time. I talked to a woman yesterday or 2 days ago who literally said I would have rather he had sex with another woman than watching all these women on the internet.
Oh, that's just stupid. All right, let me ask you this question though.
Sure.
All right, say if you take a video with a person that you're in a relationship with, and then you masturbate to that, is that you having intercourse with them, or is that just the imagination?
Well, you're not having intercourse, but
Like,
it's your imagination.
can someone say that you molested me from that video or something?
No, that's
So then, how
that's a
is
stretch.
watching porn? So how is watching porn cheating? You get what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Because it's all not
Um,
real. It's all in your imagination.
yeah. So here's the thing: is if you've committed to somebody else, that you're only going to have eyes for them and only be committed to them in the confines of your relationship. If that's the agreement that you've made, then if you're deviating from that, if you're looking at pictures of other women or videos of other women, that goes against the agreement that you made.
I mean, I guess I agree with you there, but that's all not
Great.
real.
Well, it is real,
I
man.
don't.
Just
No,
because
it's
someone's
not
on a
real.
screen doesn't mean they're not real. Am I real?
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
But
I'm real.
I just don't think. I just think that's pushing it too far.
Okay.
And I'm not saying
Well,
that porn is like a great thing for people, but to say that it's cheating is kind of stupid.
okay. Well,
So what
thanks
is?
for sharing, man.
Wait,
Go
wait.
ahead.
I just got one question. One question. So what is not cheating to you? Like so everything's cheating. So like, say if you talk to a girl at the store and you give her like a little flirty vibe, is that cheating? Like, when is it cheating? When is it not?
I think it depends on where your heart is at. If you're giving someone a flirty vibe intentionally, I'd say that's cheating. Yeah.
All right. All right. Well,
Well,
have a nice night, my guy.
you too, man. See ya. All right. Like and share, people. We got off to a wild start here, and the audio wasn't working. Bunch of stuff. Um, but here we are. Like and share. We're at 1,200 likes. We'll get that up to 10,000 real quick. Give me a follow if you guys don't follow me already. I feel great tonight, by the way. So let's do it. Allie, my take is that if you're in a committed monogamous relationship with another person and you've said something like, I love you, only you, I'm committed to you, mind, body, and soul, if you deviate from that, then that's cheating, going against the agreement. Grace Carly, hi there. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. What's up?
Another. I was kind of trying to join so I could give him like a female perspective off of his point of view. I mean, I
Okay.
agree it's cheating, but I also think it depends, like you said, in your relationship and what you've said. If your girlfriend or your boyfriend doesn't think it's cheating and you both decide it's not cheating, then I guess that's what you've decided in your relationship. But I did have a question. What about like what's it called, like erotica or like smut or things like that? Like, what is your point of view on whether or not, because it's still fantasy,
Like
but it is
like novels.
still, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a problem. I mean, it it's categorically different, right? Like there's not a person on the screen, but I think it goes to the lustful desire, the lustful intent of the heart,
I agree.
right?
Yeah, no, I was just curious.
Yeah, yeah. All
All
right,
right. Yeah, I appreciate it.
all right. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye bye. Hey there, what's going on, Dominic?
How you doing?
I'm doing good, thanks.
Um, I've seen a lot of your lives recently.
Okay,
Um, Decided to come up and have a chat with you.
okay.
What got you started in this topic here? Is this from past experience of yourself, or is this something you're passionate about?
Both. Both. I watched porn for about 20 years, which escalated into physical affairs with my wife while I was married. I'm still married to her, same woman. We've been married 13 years. And at 32 years old, when I realized how destructive pornography was, not only to myself, but to those around me, I realized that maybe there's a better way. And maybe I should just be faithful to my wife and not screw up my brain by masturbating while watching other people have sex on the internet. And so now, yes, so I have personal experience and I'm passionate about it because I know how lonely it is when you actually, or at least for me and other people, when they actually acknowledge what's going on when they're addicted to pornography.
Is there scientific research to back up that porn is detrimental to the brain?
Yeah, tons. There's brain scans where they took a brain scan of a porn addict and compared it to a coke addict, and they look pretty much the same. It ruins the prefrontal cortex of the brain by hijacking the dopamine reward circuitry in the brain.
Okay, so you're comparing pornography to a illicit drug.
No, I'm not comparing them. You asked if there's scientific data that supports it, and I cited one study. In that study, they compared the brain scan of a porn addict to a coke addict, and the brain scan looked pretty much the same.
Okay, interesting. And you're saying so you don't support the industry at all. People that are profiting from the industry. Do you condone them for making money off this industry?
What do you mean by that? Do I condone them?
Do you do you disown these people who make a living, who pay their bills based off their career path of joining this industry?
Do I disown them? I'm not following the question.
Yeah. Do you disown them as people
Well, I
for
don't
their
own them,
choices?
so I can't disown them.
Okay. Do you maybe you're not understanding.
I'm not
Um,
understanding.
you don't condone this behavior.
I still don't understand the question. What behavior?
Their choice that they made to join the industry, the corn industry.
Well, I would never judge a person without first saying, would I have maybe done the exact same thing if I was in their exact same situation?
Okay, so people who make a living off this,
What's the real
uh,
question you're wanting to ask?
the real question is the real question is, listen, there are people consuming this content every day.
Uh-huh.
People make a living off this. You know, you believe that if this is an addiction, why are people paying for this content, and why is it legal?
Okay. If this is an addiction, why are people paying for it? Is that your question?
No,
And then
no.
your
Why
separate
is it
question is
free?
why is it legal?
Yeah, why is it free and legal?
Why is pornography free and legal?
Yes.
Okay, why is pornography? I don't know. Some porn's free, some porn isn't. But if there's a principle, usually goes along with social media. If it's free, you're the product,
Right. So we
right?
consume. Right. We're consumers.
Why is it
Every one of
legal?
us.
I don't know. There's a lot of things that are legal that are puzzling to me.
Okay. So listen. So what's the issue with people consuming this on their own free will?
What's the issue? Well, it tends to have negative outcomes for them, right? One, like we mentioned, it screws up the person's brain. It also, there's a saying of why does what people do in private matter? Because what pornography teaches you to do, what it trains you to do is objectify other people. One of the famous studies, who's it, Ted Bundy, who said he was addicted to porn, and basically many serial killers are. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. Because it reinforces you to treat other people as objects for your pleasure. And then what you're doing in private carries out to when you're out in public. I'm not suggesting whether it should be legal or not. This is not the conversation here. You just asked a very weird question. But I can't answer the question of why it's legal. I don't know. Maybe they talked about it in the debate tonight. I didn't watch it, but
So listen. I'll start with the politics here. Is porn
yeah,
cheating?
I really don't get what your questions are.
Okay.
You'd be a great
my-
politician. You make no sense. Go
All
ahead.
right. I appreciate that. Listen, is porn cheating? I would say it's not cheating, because if you're in a committed relationship and you both watch it, who's cheating on each other?
Well, it depends
And
on
if
if you've agreed to be committed and monogamous only to one another. If that's the commitment in the relationship, then by definition it would be cheating.
Okay, so what if you're watching your content?
Are you agreeing that you're watching your content?
Yeah, like you both committed to, okay, we're only going to watch our content.
Okay.
Is that
And you've agreed
destructive?
upon it? Well,
Yes.
there's two questions. One, is it cheating? No. Two, is it destructive? Yes. Again, the brain science suggests that watching pornography ruins your brain. Any porn. It doesn't matter who the actor is on the screen. It's still detrimental to the brain. So is it destructive? Yes. In that scenario, is it cheating? No.
Okay, so it's like TikTok then. You put corn up the top where TikTok is, correct?
What do you mean by that?
Okay, because doom scrolling on TikTok and consuming hours worth of videos on TikTok can be destructive to the brain.
Yes, it can.
So would you put TikTok up there with consuming corn?
Define up there.
Like massive dumps of pleasure.
Yeah. I mean, at that point, you're talking about the dopamine addiction. In that case, yes, they are actually very closely related in terms of the dopamine, how the dopamine circuitry works in the brain. The book Dopamine Nation goes through that in great detail, not with TikTok specifically. The first chapter of that book, it's not a book about porn, by the way. It's from a MD at Stanford who writes about dopamine and how our country is basically addicted to it. The first chapter is called Masturbation Machines. We basically turned ourselves into pleasure-seeking creatures, and that could be porn, it could be TikTok, it could be social media. But there's a whole other component to it where we're talking about a person with a soul when we're consuming pornography. And that's detrimental to relationships in many other ways, in addition to the ways that TikTok can be. Do you watch porn?
Okay. I do not.
Okay. Good for you.
I know a lot of young men do consume that, and it becomes a habit, a bad habit, and it can control their life in negative ways.
Yeah.
So I agree with you on that point.
Yep.
As far as the cheating aspect of it, though, I disagree on that. Um, I don't think it's cheating because if you're watching,
Well, let's
um,
just say this. Let's say a woman gets into a relationship with a man, and the man says to her, "Hey, you're my girl. I'm only going to look at you. I'm reserving all my sexual energy and desire for you, for intimate moments that you and I will create." Let's say that that's the agreement. That's what was set forth at the beginning of the relationship. Then let's say a week or a month later, or 6 months later, she finds out that every day, maybe multiple times a day, he's watching other women have sex and masturbating to them. Do you think that she has a right to feel betrayed based on the agreement that they made?
yes, I do.
Okay. Which is cheating, right?
Um, well, you're not actively going out and cheating on her,
What are you inactively doing
so
it?
you're not actually committing. You're not actively committing the act. If you were to go out and actually cheat, I
Okay,
think
well,
that would
so so it may not be a physical infidelity, but is it an emotional infidelity?
it is, but it's not. If
Okay,
you don't tell her, then she'll never know.
that whether she knows or not doesn't change what it is.
Okay, so you're saying emotionally you could be cheating on her.
Well, I'm asking you the question. Would you consider that to be emotional cheating?
Um, yeah, I think it would because you're getting attached to these stars. You're getting attached to these actors that are playing inside the video.
Yeah. So we agree. We did it. America.
All right, man. Well, listen, it was nice being up here.
Thanks for sharing, man. See ya.
All right,
Bye.
take care, man.
He meant porn stars, Blue Genie, I think is what he meant by stars. Was that were those claps really loud or was that okay? No, he didn't run. That was a good chat. I appreciate that, man. Alicia Ash, how's it going? Oh gosh, Fawcett. Should we let Fawcett back on here? Man, Fawcett, you should go read the comments on the clips that I posted from you. Or don't. All right, 20 minutes. Great. Alicia Ash, are you there? Nope, not there. Gucci flip flops. Everybody get your popcorn. Fawcett's coming on in 20 minutes. He's coming hot off a debate, too. A real debate. No taker. Hello, how's it going?
Hello?
Hey, what's going on?
What's going on?
Nothing. What's up? Is porn cheating?
Oh, yeah, it definitely is.
Yeah. Do you watch porn?
No, sir.
All right. Well, how did you get that opinion?
Well, I think if you're watching porn and you're masturbating to other women while in a relationship, I think you're committing adultery with her in your heart, and that's not good. And then it's kind of like a drug. Once you start, it's really hard to stop.
Are you
And
gaming
it
right now?
does. Oh, yeah, I was waiting to join
What are you playing?
Arkham Knight.
Oh, nice. How old are you?
Oh, I'm 17, but I used to be addicted, but I finally quit because it ruined.
All right. Well, good for you, man. So look, ladies or people who are saying that, there are people who don't watch porn, like this guy. Good for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, man. Well, thanks for sharing.
No problem.
All right, see you, man.
I'll see you.
Bex, may I add some thoughts? Maybe you can pick my brain. I'm curious if I'm delusional about it. Sure, I'll pick your brain. I love picking brains.
Hello. Wait, can you hear me?
Hey there. What's going on? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. So porn cheating, it differs. Like, there's relationships out there that like do like doing that, but there's some that, they do, but if the relationship gets deeper, the girl's gonna have some sort of boundaries with that. So what I'm trying to say is like, porn does ruin guys, because then, that's why there's a lot of things happening around the world. Like, guys can go for, little, I don't know if I can say it. And, they cheat on their girls, they can have a family and everything, but they can go for another woman that they physically want. And if they have that option and opportunity there from that girl, they'll take it. So it ruins every guy's like mentality in that sort of way. Cause I lived through it. So, that's why I'm saying that.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Sorry to hear that.
No, it's okay.
Are you still with that partner who you lived through it with?
Of course, like I'm helping him. He's done with that, but he just kept telling me like it was an everyday thing. So, for me, like it hurt me because like we were living happy moments and doing like many good things and all. But when it came out and I found that, like I didn't like get mad at him, but I'm just like, I put myself in that position like what do I have that they don't?
Oh yeah,
So it ruins that for a woman, and they don't realize it, and they keep going instead of talking to you about it and like opening up to you, like, can you help me with this addiction? Because there's women out there that will put boundaries and they'll leave those guys because the more you get addicted to it, the more the girls don't want to be around that. They want someone to love them for them, and they don't run to that. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. I got you. There's a really good part in the book, The Betrayal Bind, that addresses what you're talking about, which is that you feel like you don't measure up to what you're seeing in the porn. Yeah, I'm sorry to
Because
hear
you feel
that.
like of course, don't be sorry. Things happen, but as long as you love the guy and he betters himself, that's the good part. But if he never does, then, that's where a guy sits down and when they lose the family or anything they love, they'll just regret it. But, sometimes they can keep going, but sometimes they can't stop. But stopping that is just like, it's really hard for the guy.
Yeah, yeah. It sure is,
So,
especially with all the shame that's wrapped up in it. So,
exactly. I just want to ask though, why do guys have that need to do it? Like, why? Like,
well, they don't. There's not in my opinion, I don't think there's a biological need to masturbate while watching other women have sex on a screen. Okay, they'll say it's a need, but when you phrase it like that, it's not a need. What they're referring to is a desire for
okay,
sex, and let's just say that that's a thing because it is. But don't conflate that with a need to watch porn,
I see
right?
what you mean.
That's
Yeah,
like saying I want to feel happy, so I need to go drink a lot,
yeah,
right? You don't need to do that, right?
yeah.
So,
Well, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to say thank you for letting me talk.
yeah,
So, have a
yeah.
nice night.
All right, thanks for sharing. Fawcett. Uh, oh, Fawcett, can I have your permission to read your DMs to me on here, if you're there? Oh, man. All right. Please, please, please don't think you are nothing less than beautiful. It's not your fault. It has nothing to do with you or how you look or anything you did. This is a problem that he has. As an ex who's 35. Fawcett, I asked you if I can have permission to read the DMs you sent me. What do you recommend for steps to stopping? Well, it depends on kind of where you're at with dealing with this, but generally speaking, you got to name the problem, declare what you're wanting to be different. Faith, the book is called The Betrayal Bind. Highly recommend it. If you join one of my women's groups, we go through this book sometimes, as well as Facing Heartbreak. So you got to name the problem, declare what you want to be different, and then explore your story. So figure out what got you to that point of watching pornography and masturbating and hiding it, developing a secret life, lying to your partner. You got to untangle this whole mess and then decide what you're going to do going forward. Look at your triggers. What are your what's triggering you? What environmental factors are there when you find yourself turning back to it? So Fawcett, he and I were messaging earlier today about coming on. Somatic therapy is great. There's a lot of somatic things you can do. Sarah Jackson's great for somatic resources. Yeah, all this stuff is linked to my bio. Okay, if you miss the names of the book, go to the resources page linked to my bio, and you'll find the books I recommend. The one I recommended was The Betrayal Bind. Sarah Jackson Coaching on Instagram is a great follow for somatic practices. So Fawcett said he's going to join the live after he cooks. He said after I cook my chicken. I can't tell if you misspelled cook though, and you were making a joke, and you were saying something else about your chicken. Sorry. When I first read it, I'm like, really? You're going to say that? Can someone pin my previous comment? Well, it depends. Was it a good comment? I would love to join tonight if possible. I've been trying to join your lives the last few times. Oh, all right. Well, you're actually up here next.
Hello.
Kate, hi there. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. What's up?
So I've been trying to join because I feel like I have a very unique perspective on this just based on my life story, in the past, 2 years.
Okay.
I'm 18, by the way. I'm an adult.
Okay.
So, I think I mostly want to share my story just so people can understand it, and also because I think as a woman, I think not a lot of people can come up here and say as a girl that they've struggled with a porn addiction because it's most commonly seen in men. So I had my first boyfriend when I was 16, and it was a very toxic and abusive relationship, and he would try to pressure me into having sex with him when I wasn't ready. He was a year older than me. And I just faced so much anxiety and stress and sadness from that entire relationship. It lasted 5 months, until he cheated on me. So we took a break, a sort of a break, and he he slept with a girl while we were on the break, and then he went to jail, and I didn't find out until he was in jail, and then he came out and was trying to be nice to me, and I was like, no, I'm not doing this anymore. So that relationship, along with me being sexually harassed at the age of 13 online, had kind of had an opposite effect on me, and it led me to feel like I had to be hypersexual, and I had a porn addiction for a few months, and it was difficult because I had so much shame, but at the time I didn't realize that there was such thing as a porn addiction, so I didn't really know what was going on. And then a year later, I had gotten into my now previous relationship, and it was a really great relationship, but now I struggled with being the one that was hypersexual and my partner not being in the same boat. Thank you for the comment. I was just now seeing the comment. And that was a huge struggle throughout the entire relationship. That relationship lasted 10 months, until I found out that he emotionally cheated on me with a girl that was my friend that was like a little sister to me. So now, after sharing the story that I have, I'm struggling a lot with getting back into dating now and being able to trust people, because my trust is any trust that I can have early on in talking to anybody is non-existent. I have expectations, but zero trust. And I literally on Sunday just got stood up on a date and ghosted. And I don't know how to like go into dating protecting myself and being safe, knowing what to look out for, but also just knowing that it's okay to eventually have trust for somebody.
Yeah. Well, those are wise words right there, right? How can you protect yourself? And thank you for sharing, by the way. There's a lot there
Thank
to your
you.
story. Yeah. You've been through a lot, and I'm sorry to hear the things you've gone through already in your life, and you got a good head on your shoulders. I can tell that.
Thank you.
Yeah. With trust, it's like we have to trust to some degree, right? And to trust is risky, because when we trust somebody, we're opening up ourselves the possibility of being hurt again.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, obviously, with a betrayal like you're talking about, like we don't want to experience that again. But to have intimacy, to be intimate with somebody, we need to be willing to trust. And that's going to be hard for you, because you're also wanting to protect yourself, which is normal. It's wired in us to survive.
Mm-hmm.
So, I don't know the exact answer there for you, but it's going to take some practice to learn, how can I trust? In what areas am I willing to trust while still having appropriate boundaries so that I don't get hurt again like I was before?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's so difficult, and I kind of I haven't talked to my therapist in a long time, but I should probably set up an appointment with her. But I also joined your Discord, and
Oh, cool.
I haven't really talked much on there yet. But maybe you do like one-on-one appointments,
Mm-hmm.
don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll set one up with you eventually, because that would be really great to talk to you just, more in depth.
Yeah. Yeah. The best place is a discovery call. So if you go to the link in my bio, it says start here, book a discovery call, and then we can have a chat there. And then I have groups both for men dealing with unwanted sexual behavior as well as women who are dealing with betrayal. But yeah, I'd love to chat if you want to. And in the Discord community, yeah, it's a place where you can read other people's stories and share what's going on for you as well. So it's linked to my bio. Join the community on Discord. So
Okay.
well, thanks for
Well,
sharing,
thank
Kate.
you.
Yeah, yeah. All right, take care.
You too.
Bye bye. All right. Who, if you've been waiting on one of my lives before to come on and you want to, tell me in the chat, like between guests, and I'll try to bring you on. If you've been on one of my lives previously and you've been waiting to join before. Hi there, V. How's it going?
It's going good. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. What's up?
First, thank you for allowing me to join. I've seen you on live like 3 times and I've wanted to join, so I'm super excited.
Oh, well, thanks for being here.
I would like to answer in maybe 2 ways. One as a woman, and second, being like a Christian. Is that okay with you?
Sure.
Okay. So the first thing that I would like to say is As a woman, I feel that it is cheating, because I just feel like if you're in a relationship and your partner is looking at another woman, obviously it's going to make you feel like you're not worth as much. Like, what's wrong with me? Why are they looking at this? You're not going to feel your best. You're not going to feel confident. You're not going to want to be with them in that way, because someone was saying on your live earlier, like he was asking you, so that's cheating. And then he was like, well, emotionally, yeah, that's cheating. But a woman is like emotionally wired. So she's going to sit there and wonder, why are you looking at another woman? I'm not good enough. So, yes, of course it is cheating. And then in her heart and in her mind, it's definitely cheating emotionally. So that's what I would say as a woman's point of view and perspective is it's going to make you feel less than. You're not going to feel good enough. And then as a woman of God, like I feel like for you to even look upon a woman and lust, it's cheating, it's adultery. And I believe it says in Romans, I believe, I beseech you, brethren, to make your body as like a holy sacrifice, like be pure. And I mean, I take that serious because, like you said, if you're in a relationship and you've committed yourself to that person, I don't understand how you think you could sit here and look at people that are exposed and that are naked and that's doing all these acts. That's perversion to me, my belief, and you feel that it's not cheating. And also, if people feel like it's not cheating, then why is it a secret? Why are you hiding it? It's definitely cheating. If you're keeping a secret, you're wrong. So, I mean, I just wanted to join and say that, as a woman, I feel like it makes you feel less than, something's wrong with you. You feel bad about yourself. And then also, as a Christian woman as well.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know if you were on yesterday or 2 days ago. I had those two guys. We didn't really get anywhere in our conversation, but 5 minute countdown, Fawcett. We're all waiting. Okay. You know, there are women who completely disagree with everything you just said. All right, and and I'm actually curious, people in the chat, like if you used to have that perspective of like, oh, it's fine, he does it, I do it with him, and if you changed your perspective on that, what happened for you to get you to change your perspective? Because I think, in my experience, women just go along with it. They're gaslit into believing this is right, or they should just accept it from your partner. And then something happens, and there's probably, I don't know what that exact thing is, but something happens, and then she's like, no, I will not do this anymore. In my experience, it often happens around when a woman gets pregnant or has a baby. I tend to hear
Right.
that a lot with the people I work with, but
Well, I have four daughters, and I mean, I just feel very strongly that, I mean, even as like men, if they would sit back and realize, like, would you want, your daughter to be married to someone who isn't looking at her in a respectful way, kind of like just disregarding her feelings, making her feel less than? Like, I wouldn't want to see my daughter feel that way and come to me and cry about it. And I was also married for 13 years to a music. He was in music ministry in the church, and that was his addiction. And it was like there was no help for me, because people would call me and want me to pray with them and pray for them about their marriage, but I couldn't tell them like I was struggling and I needed prayer and I needed help, because I didn't want to make him look bad, but I wanted help, and there was no help for me. And I mean, it made me feel very depressed and very alone. And then I don't know. I mean, I've experienced it a lot, and it made me just feel like something was wrong with me.
yeah, yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with you, in my estimation, if that means anything to you. But
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just we can believe these lies about ourselves, but when we really take a look at it, it's like, why am I believing this? Because somebody else is doing a behavior, I'm not going to change the belief about myself. So,
Right.
well,
Well,
thanks for
thank you
sharing.
for letting me join tonight. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Fawcett is getting his suit on. Can't wait. Unique one. What do you mean by that? You said I want to come in correct with my partner. I have talked to him about it. I think you were on the other day, Unique One. I don't recall. You'll have to remind me what we talked about. You should do a live that says, "What is cheating?" Yeah, I'm actually going to start experimenting with changing up the prompt here. Like one prompt is going to be Trump or Kamala. Who are you voting for? Oh, just kidding. Or am I? No, I'll create another account for that. But I do want to change up the prompts, like, because the thing is porn cheating? It's a great prompt for creating engagement, but it requires a lot of conversation. So I want to have something that's still. All right, don't get political in the comments, please. I want to find other engaging prompts to do. Anyways, all right. Amanda, I've talked to you before. Hello, Amanda. I did start it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Trump girl. Hey there, what's going on?
Hello.
What's up?
I talked to you before and
Okay.
we talked about my fiance and he was on medication and things like that
Okay.
and about how his drive was lesser than normal men. We have gotten that changed and I just wanted to say thank you for giving me the strength to talk to him about it because now he is on a different medication and our lives are different.
Awesome. Well, good job.
Um,
Courage. You did it.
Well, the communication thing. I know there was other women issues, porno. I can't say that. I know. I
Yeah.
can't say the word. The corn issues
Mm-hmm.
that weren't me.
Yeah. It's not about you.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't me. And I was on here a few months ago and I had the strength to talk to him and I really do appreciate the things that I've heard from here and I've learned from here. And I really appreciate that.
Good. Well, hey, thank you for sharing that. I do vaguely remember you because you kind of look like Tina Fey in your profile picture. Have you heard that before?
Oh, well, thanks.
So it kind of looks familiar, but yeah, I really do appreciate you coming back and saying that. Because here's the thing, thinking about like, what is my tagline for why I do this? This is not set in stone, but I have a heart for softening men, not in like a weak way, but like a helping men be more tender to their emotions and other people's emotions. And then second, empowering women to stand in their power and have the courage to go have the conversations that need to be had.
Yes.
So
And
I love that.
if
Amanda.
anything, you gave me that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. I got to pee. Fawcett, you're next. All right. Everyone go get your popcorn. Fawcett. Oh, okay. I'm going to go pee because let's go. I'll be back. All right. All right, Fawcett. Here to help me get more clips that are going to go viral.
Oh,
What's up,
trust
man?
me, trust me. They already look horrible. I saw them on the. I saw them on your. What do you call it? Channel. Oh my goodness, I look like a raging lunatic. But you know what? Good that you put them out of context, because most people wouldn't have been able to understand what I was saying.
Those were not out of context, my friend.
Okay.
Full clips on YouTube, so you guys can go watch for yourself. All right, man. Hey, where's the tie?
Oh, you want me to put the tie on too?
You need the tie, bro. It's the whole ensemble.
Put someone else up. Put someone else up for 2 minutes, and then I come back. All
right. Go get the tie. He's got to have the tie. We can't get Fawcett content without the tie. Unique one. Sorry if you replied earlier to when I asked you a question. Let me bring someone else on. I don't know if he is in here listening to this or not, but he's very open to hearing, so it's great. What's up, Bex?
Hey there. I got 2 minutes, so no pressure, right?
2 minutes, maybe 5. I don't know. What's up? He
So my thing is,
he probably takes 2 or 3 times to get that tied just right.
to get the knot. No worries. My thing is, I guess the answer to the question on the screen is porn cheating. I think it's bilateral answer because it really depends on your partner, in my opinion. Because I've been on both sides of that.
Does it depend on the partner or on the agreement that 2 people make within a relationship?
Well, I mean, I would assume that's one in the same, because if your partner agrees that it's okay and it doesn't bother them, then it would, I believe it's the same. But if, you have a partner who's not comfortable with that for whatever reason, right? Past traumas or just, their judgment or their belief system, and you do it anyway, then I think, yes, that's a type of, maybe not cheating, but it's dishonesty.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm splitting hairs here, but I don't think it's the partner. I think it's the agreement that you and the partner have, what's been communicated and understood and agreed to, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Which I guess can go for anything, right? Like, I don't want you to do this because it makes me uncomfortable, and if you do it, now you have, you're being deceitful.
Yeah, but that's not an agreement. An agreement is, do we agree that it's only the 2 of us in this relationship? That's an agreement.
So then if I have, okay, so for example, I was with somebody for 5 years, and I was younger, so I was a little bit more naive to it, and I was very insecure, and he watched porn all the time, to include old videos of his ex-wife. Okay, so this was, far beyond emotional cheating, and I was very hurt by it, and I was very, I carried that with me throughout relationships, thinking that it was bad. Well, somewhere along the lines, I became comfortable with watching it, but I didn't feel like I had an emotional attachment to it. Earlier, a gentleman said, people get attached to the actors, but I mean, I couldn't tell you the name of any of the actors. It was just more the act of doing it, and I just think I think in my opinion, people do it for, like you said, a coping strategy, whether it be for boredom or I think a lot of it is lack of imagination.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what it's been for me, because it's, if I do it without porn, then it takes longer, and I'm like, oh, it just took my brain a lot more usage.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as a woman, it's a little bit more taboo, we're not as comfortable being open about it, you know what I mean? But I just think it can be healthy, but there's a gray area. If you're hurting your partner, it's not healthy.
Okay, but watching porn is literally objectifying other people. So how much objectification of other people is healthy in your point of view? How much masturbation while objectifying other people is healthy for you?
I guess I can't answer that, because that's like saying no, there's no such thing as safe radiation, right? It's still happening. It's still going to affect your body. You just don't know how. So, I mean, I guess I don't see it as objectification. I just think you're focusing on the act. Well, everybody focuses on something different, right? Some people look at it because there's a lot of different types of porn where you really objectify women, or they're slapping them, or, there's different tastes of it. There's certain things that I can't watch because it makes me very uncomfortable. But I guess for me, it's the act of like when it's like, you know, something more passionate along the lines of just the act of sex. And I guess I don't see it as wrong. Now, if it bothered my partner and I said, we're not going to do this, then it's wrong in my opinion. But if my partner thinks it's healthy and knows that, you know, I do it not to replace him, but, you know, on my own time for whatever reason, then I feel that it's okay.
Well, just because we think something's healthy doesn't mean it's healthy. Like my kids think that eating, you know, Oreos and Doritos is healthy, but that it doesn't make it healthy.
So I guess my question is what makes it unhealthy, the act of objectifying another individual or several individuals?
Well, I think that's one reason. There's many reasons why it's not healthy, but you know, if you agree, I mean, I view it as objectifying other people. I mean, literally, it's the definition of objectifying other people for your sexual pleasure. So the question is, how much of that do you want to have in as part of your life? Right? The radiation, it's not an apples to apples comparison, but
Right.
you know, how much objectification do you want? Is that going to get you closer to having rich, rewarding relationships with other people, or will it get you further away from it? In my experience, it gets you further away from actually having enriching relationships. Because if you're practicing, how you do one thing is how you do everything. If you're practicing objectifying people in private, you're going to do it in public and in other spaces as well. So that's the question: is that a practice you wanted to engage in? Is the objectification of other people for sexual pleasure? And if so, fine. But how might that be hindering you in other areas of your life?
And I can completely see that because it's obviously not something that I believe that when you're done with the act, it's not, you don't continue watching it. You're just like, oh, okay, yuck, turn it off. You know, you're ashamed of it. It's kind of shameful. You know what I mean? At least for me, I can't. You know, other people are very different. But I think for me, it's more of a boredom thing. It's more of a, you know, I'm stressed or, you know, I just want to relax and go to sleep, and then that's it. Now I don't have a partner, so I can't, you know, sit here and say that I'm doing it because of my partner or anything else. But I'm sure that there's roots to it. You know, there's maybe some traumatic roots, you know, as far as the hypersexualization, like, you know, the previous caller talked about. So I know that there's a lot of attachments there.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
I was just curious. It was one of the,
Yeah.
you know, picky brains thing. Cause I'm like, okay, am I delusional? You know, am I the narcissist? You know, because I'm curious, you know.
Well, I think there's roots there, and that's what I would invite you to explore. Where did those
Yes.
roots start? Is it healthy for you? Is it actually calling you into what you're wanting to produce in life? Read that book, Read Unwanted by Jay Stringer. It'll help you answer a lot of those questions. Yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate that. Well, thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Alrighty, bye
All
bye.
right. Guys, all the Pradeep talk, I love it. I hope he comes on tonight. That would just make this live amazing. Talk to Fawcett, talk to Pradeep. All right, there we go. He's got the tie. This guy claims he's going to be the president in 2026. And let us
No,
just remind
first off-
him. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
In 36, not 26.
Oh,
There's no election in
2036.
26.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh man, I'm losing already. So Fawcett, let me just remind you, and I don't need to tell you this, but whatever happens on the internet never dies. So all of this is going to probably be campaign footage when you're campaigning in the future. Okay.
And I'll just simply say it was AI generated by you to bring down the Fawcett campaign. So we're good. We're good.
All right, man.
All
Well,
of
what's
it's AI
going on?
generated. This is not real. All right. So I've listened to so for everyone that doesn't know, I was banned for like a week off of TikTok because I was saying things about Kamala Harris, how she's a dumb girl, but that was just a rage bait and get more interaction, so it isn't real. And while I was listening to yours specifically, you said a couple things, and I wrote down the date and time and the exact statement.
Great.
So I want to go ahead. I want to go and just go over a few things. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're wondering, do I believe is porn cheating? I say no. And I have a few reasons why. And that's why I come up here, just to go ahead and back and forth with the man. All right? Remember to like the stream. All right. Okay. So on September 8th at 2:39 a.m. EST, you stated, there was a woman that stated, no, actually you stated, some women prefer cheating than seeing over 1,000 women. This is how I know women don't have their heads screwed on straight, because I would much rather have my man cheat on me with one single other woman than seeing 1,000 women. I want you to go and defend that real quick.
You want me to defend somebody else's statement?
Well, you're saying that you've seen some women prefer cheating. More women prefer cheating. Oh, no, sorry. Some women would prefer cheating rather than seeing over 1,000 women. I just want to go ahead and see. Is that a thing you're seeing with your female companions?
No, I already addressed that tonight, and it was proven again on another call. The state. Are you reading a direct quote, or are you summarizing what?
Yeah, no,
what
reading
you're saying?
direct quote.
Well, your handwriting is not necessarily my quote. Did you write down word for word what I said? I'm just curious. I'm not saying you're wrong.
No. Well, I wrote down the statistics. You saying that you said something like, I've spoken to some women that say they prefer him cheating rather than seeing 1,000 women in their, and you said it with the hand on your thing too. So I remember.
Yeah. And I had a discovery call with a woman again 2 days ago. After that, because you're claiming I made that statement in the wee hours of the morning on the 8th, so like midnight morning of the 8th, I had a discovery call with another woman, and I thought of that exact line. I was like, I'm proving it again. It was at about noon Pacific time on Monday, and the woman said the same thing. She said he's been watching porn, hundreds, thousands of women on porn for the 40 years that we've been married, and she said, I almost wish he would have had sex with another woman than do what he did. So yeah, that's and by the way, that's a statement. That's a statement of my experience. It's not right or wrong. It's just my experience.
Okay, but no. What I'm asking is, do you feel as if that is sort of the vibe you get from most of your female clientele, or the people in the chat right now? We can even ask them, like, would you rather have your man just go out and cheat or see 1,000 women? Like, what I'm asking is, what would they want more? To their men just to go out and cheat, or to see 1,000? What would they rather have if only given those two options?
Well, I don't know. You'd have to poll them. The statement I made the other day. Well, sure, the chat can answer if they want, but it's a bad question because they would want neither. But here's the thing: is anecdotally, the point I was making the other night was because somebody said again. I'd have to go back and look at the clip. The context was, it's not as bad as cheating, and I think what I said was I've actually heard some women say they would have rather he actually got and physically had sex. So the point I was making was, it wasn't a true statement that the other person was saying that all women would prefer porn over cheating, physical cheating.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
So that's all. There's nothing to prove right or wrong here.
No. What I was just wondering is, the reason why I bring that up is because if a majority of women that you have surveyed or you've helped would rather
not majority. I cited one anecdote the other night. And then it was proven like 12 hours later with another call I had with a woman. Again.
Well, no, what I was basically bringing up is if that's what you're seeing with your female clientele, that they have expressed this time and time and time again, because I know you've only done it twice, but if that's like the vibe you're seeing, I would just like to ask women in the chat, why wouldn't they just let them in?
But hold on. But you're taking a couple anecdotes and applying it to all my clients or all people who have talked in the chat.
Okay. Sorry, that is probably the failure of the argument. We would need a poll in order to substantiate this or deny it.
Yeah. So how many times have I heard that? A handful. Enough to know that if somebody says that a woman would always prefer porn instead of physical cheating, I know that that's not a true statement because I've heard at least a handful of times the inverse of that.
Okay, so good. So in that case, that isn't even like an argument. That was just something I heard.
You should hire me to be your debate prepper for the 2036 election. You should be paying me for this right now.
Oh my God! Hey, listen, you're gonna get the TikTok money off of this. So, but okay, here's the one thing I've been seeing you bring up in a lot of your things. Are you ready for this? Mm-hmm. You've been bringing up this argument every time someone asks you about is porn cheating. And I just want to ask you where you get this idea, right? So you always, whenever someone talks about cheating or they talk about, when someone talks about with me and my girl, you always go, are you in a relationship together? Are you guys wholly, physically, spiritually, mentally prepared to be with only themselves and one another? I want to ask you, where do you get that being the baseline for a normal modern relationship when that hasn't been the normal in about 75 years? So I just want to know where you get that being the normal.
Well, first of all, I don't use words like normal.
Okay, regular, average.
I don't use words like that either. What I say is, generally, as we define it in the West, the vows go something like, I'm committed to you, only you, mind, body, and soul, till death do us part. That's the line that I
Okay.
say frequently. Generally,
Okay.
as
Okay.
defined in the West, yeah, I say that.
Okay. And now you say vow. You say vow is like mind, body, soul, and stuff like that. That's a marriage thing. I'm gonna move it over there because that makes much more sense than the other thing. What about relationships, new age relationships? You're expecting someone to have an old world relationship in a modern era. And that's the reason why I don't believe is porn cheating outside of marriage, because we don't live in a time where seeing women outside of a relationship is automatically cheating. Right? Back in the old days, grandma and grandpa, oh, we were going steady. If you saw someone else, I'd chop your head off. But we don't live in those times anymore. We live in a time where when people are, first flamingoing, they're probably 7, 8 people deep at this point. People don't have boundaries nowadays. So I just want to know how, outside of marriage, you can rationalize people to be committed to one another in a modern sense when that hasn't been the standard for 75 years.
The question I ask people is, what's your
Mhm.
agreement in the relationship? What's the and if I ask that question, I say, what's the default expectation you think that most people would have in a relationship? Is the commitment between just the two of them, or just the two of them and other people?
So the issue that I'm stating is that those two what's what I'm looking for? Standards for a relationship don't work in 2024. They just don't. And that whole argument right there on itself, on its face, is invalid.
So if it's not an argument, it's a question. What do you
Okay.
think would be the default expectation for most people in a committed monogamous relationship? It's not an argument. It's a question. So I'm asking you,
Well,
what do you think would be the default expectation for two people in a committed monogamous relationship?
in the modern era, it would be we're going to go.
Hold on. I'm not defining an era. What do you think?
Well, no, because we don't live in the times that we don't live in the times anymore where two people are doing this that you're talking about. This isn't 1954 anymore. We live in a time post.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So let's say it's today's era. Okay.
Yes.
What do you think is the default expectation for two people? Let's say it's a man and a woman in a committed monogamous relationship. Is the default
Okay.
expectation that it's only the two of them, or the two of them and other people, whether it being on a screen or not?
In today's modern age, it would have to be there are no longer any truly monogamous relationships, and it doesn't exist anymore. So for that to be
hold on. I'm asking a question, and you're responding with a claim that is, it can't be true. You just said
No, I
that
just
there
told
are
you.
no monogamous relationships anymore.
Yes, outside of marriage, correct. And I can prove to you why. I can prove it to you.
I can prove you wrong right away. If you're in the chat and you're in a monogamous relationship and you're married, say yes, and
No,
say yes,
outside of
married.
marriage.
Hold on, say yes, married. If you're in a committed monogamous relationship and you're not married, say yes, not married, and your claim is going to go away. So say yes, married, or yes, not married. There you go. So your statement can't be true, at least based on the polling of this TikTok live, which means it's settled science.
Well, let's go ahead and let's just dive into it deeper. So inside marriage, you're correct. You're 100% correct. I'm not even going to debate you on that because of the vows that you state. You're going to go ahead and do this with each other. Is porn cheating within marriage? I'd have to say probably. There'd have like an 80% yes on that one. But outside of marriage, in a no. And I can give it to you like this. Back in the ye old days, this is what people are basing relationships off of. They're still seeing this as 1955 in terms of relationships, which is just not, it's just we're not that people anymore.
You're the only one talking about 1955.
Or 1975. We don't any longer live in a time where two people from the get-go are supposed to be monogamous with one another, and they can never be. In the modern age of infinite technology and infinite options, how could you be? So, for someone to say porn is cheating, for someone to say that this is cheating within the confines of a monogamous relationship in the modern era misinterprets today's standards as the standards of yesteryear, and I'm not going to go back in time. So, I'll tell you what the standards of a modern relationship are. Would you like to hear those?
Yes, but give me 1 second. Well, I don't want to hear what the standards of a modern relationship are. I want to hear what your opinion is, or your orientation of what the modern standards are. Because just because you're saying this is the standard doesn't mean it's true for everybody in this country.
Okay, so I will.
Now back to back again, like just like the other day. Like, was it you that you wouldn't say I statements? You're always generalizing things.
Oh yes. You know that's me. Come on now.
Yeah. So here's the thing: is I don't know how you can even make the claim that people who aren't married can be monogamous. Like, there's tons of people in dating relationships or people who are engaged that are monogamous. They're only committed to one another. Marriage, you then got to define marriage. Is it a legal standard? Is it a faith-based standard? Is it a common law thing? Right?
All three of the above.
Yeah. So outside of that, why can't you have a monogamous relationship? You can define whatever you want to.
Because if you wanted a monogamous relationship, you would just put a ring on it at this point. By not marrying your partner, you are effectively you are allowing polyamory, and this is why I think is this cheating outside of marriage? No, it's not. And that's the other thing I wanted to bring up, because it's all this two people. That's what I wanted to bring up.
Okay, all right, go ahead.
Okay, so my standards that I've been seeing that I have made by generalizing most Americans nowadays, it is effectively, I am going to see you for about 6 months. I'm still going to have about 3 other people on the side that I'm both into physically, like we're both commingling, and we still go on dates on for about 3-4 months after the fact, 5 months. You know what I'm trying to say? Around the 6-month mark, kid, you probably have made your shot. I might go ahead and consider you probably the one. I still have to keep all my side men open, all my side options available, but you are the one I want to go ahead and probably think you're the funniest. About a year in, from what I've seen and what my opinion is, about a year in, that's when the relationship gets serious, because then people start blocking other people. They're still not together. They're still not 100% together. They have just started the process of moving into a monogamous relationship. No one's ever monogamous from the get-go, and if you're not monogamous from the get-go, you're not monogamous at all.
That was a lot of words. What's your point?
My point is corn cheating outside of marriage? It is not, because you don't have a monogamous relationship. Only those that are in marriage can have a monogamous relationship.
That's not true. Prove
okay.
It. Prove that only people in marriage can have a monogamous relationship. How would you prove that claim?
3 ways. Number 1, you are legally binding to yourself through a contract that this is the only person you're ever going to have relations with. So you automatically can't physically go cheat on someone else.
Okay. If you legally enter into a business contract, does that mean that you can't? Does that mean that you can't go do something that voids the contract?
Yes, but then that contract would not be valid.
Correct.
You would be
correct. So just because you have the marriage agreement doesn't mean that the terms of the agreement will persist for the duration of the marriage.
Correct, but then the agreement is no longer valid. And that is how it's recognized in a majority of America legally. If you go ahead and cheat on your partner, it's no longer a valid marriage. So
yes, it is. Yes, it is. According to what? To what standard? What do you mean by valid in marriage?
So, okay,
if you
first
cheat,
off,
it doesn't invalidate the marriage legally.
What are you talking? And I know you're like, as soon as you cheat, the paperwork doesn't go away.
Yeah.
But you have forfeited what I'm saying is you have forfeited your legal right to a monogamous legal relationship, because now you are putting your relationship in a position where it can dissolve and you have nothing else you have no legal standing. That's actually how a lot of fault divorces actually happened in the old days before no fault. Is all you had to do was just claim your partner was cheating and you got a majority of the cash. So yes, that is one way that you can, that is how in marriage, you cannot actually cheat, because as soon as you go ahead and actually perform the act, your stance of the argument, your stance of the contract is null and void at this point. You have forfeited it. It's almost like if I go rob the gas station, I have forfeited my right to freedom. Same kind of way. The gas station attendee could say, you know what, you can go ahead and take it. I don't care. But at the end of the day, you have still ran the risk of voiding your freedom, just the same way you avoided your monogamy by going with someone else physically.
Okay, so what's your point? Back to the whole, like, you can't be monogamous outside of marriage.
Okay. Outside of marriage, we're going back over the pond now, ladies and gentlemen. You can't be monogamous, and if you cannot be monogamous, then it's not cheating. And trust me, this is my only point, by the way. I have another point.
Why can't you be monogamous outside of marriage?
because you have the ability to go get other options and there be absolutely no consequences. There are none. You can only be monogamous within marriage.
Do you know the definition of monogamy?
Go ahead, read it off to me.
The practice or state of having a sexual relationship with only one partner. Why can't you be monogamous outside of marriage?
Because why can't you be outside of marriage? Because if you so badly want, we talk about people wanting to be with each other, mind, body, and soul. If you are so dead set on someone being with you, mind, body, and soul, then you would take it to the next level and just marry them to solidify the deal. By you not solidifying the deal, you are consenting to.
That's a separate issue. Whether you choose to get married or not is separate from whether you can maintain monogamy outside of marriage.
And see, that's another lie that people try to you can't. And I'll give you another example.
Well, hold on.
If it is possible,
why can't that be true? If we agree upon the definition of monogamy, the practice or state of having a sexual relationship with only one partner, why can't that be true outside of marriage?
Because then corn would not be then considered cheating, because it's not physically sexual. So your whole point does not stand.
No. The question of is porn, does porn violate the definition of monogamy is a separate issue. But that's not what we're talking about right now. You're going down this point, so I want to get laser focused and clear on
Let's go ahead.
what we're talking about.
I'm ready.
So you're making the claim you can't be monogamous outside of marriage. I'm reading the definition of monogamy, which makes no mention of marriage. So why can't you be monogamous outside of marriage?
You can't, because you're still, first off, there's no consequences. There's no consequence for going and seeing other people. And if there's no consequence for seeing other people, you're allowing polyamory in your relationship. And using this, actually, no, what you just said no to that. You just said no to that.
The definition of monogamy is the practice or state of having a sexual relationship with only one partner. Why can't that happen outside of marriage?
Because there is nothing for you to lose. I know you're saying, oh, it's because of the sex. Blah, 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 blah. Yes, you can go ahead and not have sex with no one else. Your girl's still getting probably, taken advantage of by other men at her job. So by allowing your partner to get married to you, you solidify the deal. It does. If relations
that's secondary to whether or not you can be monogamous outside of marriage.
You cannot.
By the way, you're going to be a great politician because you avoid answering questions like the plague. Okay. I would be a terrible politician because I actually answer questions.
Reflect it, yeah. But no, you cannot have massage.
So bring up another issue. Bring up another issue. Let's go on another one.
Okay.
If you're not going to answer the question, we can't get anywhere. So go ahead.
No worries. So if that definition we're using, only sexual, applies to this comment up here, then by your own definition, it's not cheating because no one's actually having intercourse. So then, you're still monogamous.
Oh, dang! I never thought of that one. You got me.
I know you have something. I know you all see, but I got to bring it up. I know you always have something in the back pocket.
Define sexual. Define relationship. A relationship is how two things relate, and it seems pretty sexual to me if you're masturbating while other people have sex.
But under the definition of cheating or monogamy, it isn't.
Physically, you're right. It wouldn't be physical.
And if monogamy is only two people in a relationship doing relations, then it is not cheating.
Yeah, I would say it is sexual and it is a relationship.
Okay.
Sexting, I think, would qualify under a physical or a sexual relationship.
Defend your position.
If somebody sends a picture of an eggplant to another person, and another person sends something back, and then you start talking about all the things that you wish you would be doing, or that seems pretty sexual in nature, and there is a relationship, so that seems like a sexual relationship. To me.
Okay.
I'm not asking you to agree with it, but.
No worries. I just want to make sure we have both of our definitions down. You know what I'm trying to say. What I believe that is. Ladies and gentlemen, this is how debates should be held. I'm not calling him stupid. I ain't calling him gay. I'm not calling him ugly. This is the perfect way this should be done. Anyway, sorry. Run it back real quick.
You asked how that's sexual. You to defend the position on sexting being a sexual relationship. If I would just ask the question back, if exchanging pictures or videos of private parts, sex organs,
Yeah.
and talking juicy things, if that's not a sexual relationship, what is it?
And just physical. Only physical.
But it's not literally physical because you're not literally there.
Exactly. So you are not cheating. Under the definition of not only monogamy, but with modern standards, it is not cheating. Now, would I be mad? Probably, but it wouldn't be something that it wouldn't class. And the other thing is too is if you were married and you would have grounds for divorcement, this would still not even give you grounds for that because it wasn't physical. So
yeah, I mean, again, I'm just stating how I interpret the definition. So I'm not asking you to agree or disagree.
Okay.
But to me, it seems pretty clear. The practice or state of having a sexual relationship. To me, it seems sexual, especially if there's pictures or videos of sex organs doing sex things, and then it's also a relationship. I know I can.
You can have that opinion.
Yeah.
But with the definition of monogamy, sorry.
It fits. It fits. And I've actually, somebody asked about a lawyer. I've actually asked multiple lawyers my position, divorce lawyers and other lawyers. I've asked them if they think my position of fitting in pornography under the definition of monogamy, and I've not yet got a lawyer who said no, that wouldn't fit under monogamy.
Because their business is not corn. Their business is marriage. Stay out of corn. We'll stay out of marriage. Now, we got to go ahead and talk about something different. I heard something else you have said, and I want to go ahead and
let's go.
I want to chew on it a little bit.
By the way, he messaged me earlier and said he had 4 ironclad arguments to the things I've talked about.
Yes.
So far, you're over 3.
I'd say 1 and 2. I'd say 1 and 2. But you know what? Okay. This one, and I already know what you're going to say, so I'm going to already say it before you, just so you can't use it. Okay. How do I put this? I heard another guy say it. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to quote it. It was that guy who had the bald eagle American flag picture, who sounded like a man who would go to Hooters. And those are the type of men I completely don't like. But I get it. Okay. It is not cheating because the alternative is so much worse than using the actual product.
The alternative doesn't decide whether it's cheating or not.
What? No, it 100% does.
Okay.
And let's go and talk about it.
Okay, so what's your claim?
So my claim is that it is not cheating because the alternative of which we've already lived through is so much worse than just simply going out and using this. I'm gonna say me. If you speak to a person that's like 90 years old and you talk to them about what a relationship was back in the ye olde days, it was horrid. Because men couldn't go ahead and just instantly get access to the female body. They were doing horrible things back then. Now, because we have instant access to it, we now as a society are actually more peaceful, and the FBI actually confirms it. So, women want to go ahead and say, oh my goodness, he disgusts me. Do you want the alternative of what we had back in the ye olde days? Because we can give that to you. We could go ahead but you wouldn't want it. So go ahead.
Yeah, nephew, don't worry. We'll get rid of him in just a minute. I guess my question is a woman's body a marketplace?
It's not. No. I mean to buy and sell physically, no.
Okay. Okay. Should men just have access to women's bodies?
No. But the problem is that we now live in a time where we can, instead of doing the alternative that we used to do back in caveman times. So I would say that it's not, because the alternative of which we've already gone through is it's just worse. And it's been proved that society over time, with the advent of porn, has made it safer for that kind of thing. So you can go ahead and try to say we're going to get rid of it.
Our society is crumbling in one major contributing factor is the rampant nature of young men's porn use. Society is crumbling. Marriage rates are down, birth rates are down. Men don't know how to treat women. Men don't know how to court women. Men don't know how to provide and protect. One reason, because pornography is giving them an unrealistic view of what romance and intimacy is. And it's teaching them to be dogs and treat women like shit. That's what it's teaching us.
I would recommend
it's ruining
going
the family unit. Okay, you'd recommend what?
It's ruining the family unit, but not in the direction you're saying that the actual media itself is destroying the family unit, and that's not the case.
Fawcett. Media? What media?
The media we're talking about.
Porn. Got it.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, you're saying that the media itself is destroying men's,
the
ability
consumption,
to go.
The consumption of the media. Yes, it is.
It's just okay. Now that's a good opinion to have. That's a good opinion to have. So let me ask you this question: if we were to remove it from society, would men be able to actually go ahead and speak back to women the way they did back 50 years ago? Like men had swagger, you know what I'm trying to say? Would we be able to actually have, aura again? Is that what you're saying?
I don't understand the question.
What I'm basically saying is the media itself is causing birth rates to go down, marriage rates to go down. Men can't talk to women, this, that, and the third. What I'm asking you is that if we got rid of the media, do you believe those effects would be reversed?
I think that if let's just say porn as we know it today disappeared tomorrow, I think our society would be a lot better off. Yes.
And you're saying that we would be able to get the marriage rate back up? Would you agree with that?
I don't know. Maybe.
Okay.
I mean,
okay. I just want to
we're speaking very hypothetically, so I don't know the answer to that. But I would have to imagine that if men stop objectifying women in private for minutes to hours a day, multiple times a day, over decades, I have to imagine that would have a positive impact on our society and how families are formed, how women are treated, and just generally speaking, how kids are raised. I have to imagine that would point us in a better direction than if we had more porn.
Well, the problem is even the numbers don't lie, and it does not compute. I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but it would not help us. It would not reverse anything. In fact, it would reverse the violence associated with not having this media available. And so to circle back, should we keep it? No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I wasn't saying anything.
Okay, cool. Sorry about that. I just want to make sure. So what I'm basically saying here is that it's not going to make us better as a society. It's actually going to bring back some of the ill will we had back in the 90s towards women. You thought it was bad today? Go back to 1993. I can assure you the statistics don't lie. So
show me this. You keep citing statistics. What statistics? You just keep referring to like the ye old days.
Yes. So, and let me bring this up. This is kind of what I was trying to hearken on. I was waiting for you to ask the question. So back in let me ask you a question. May I ask you how old you are?
39. I was born in 85.
85. Okay, so you wouldn't be old enough to probably remember that. When did internet come into American households, if you remember?
Commercially, right around that, 92, 93, 94, around that.
93. Okay. So the reason why I'm bringing this up is because back in 1993, America had the highest rate of SA in America. Now, you can't say most hillbillies in America had internet at that point. They didn't have a modem where they can go ahead and see Big Girl's number 9 on the screen. Every year since 1993, we have been going down on SA. We've been going down on all the other things up until 2013 when the FBI redid the statistics for what SA actually involved. So if we were to get rid of it tomorrow and let men go back to what they were doing beforehand, it would be a more detriment on society than just keeping it. And for all the women in the chat that are hooting and hollering about it, please go look up the statistics. You don't know what you're actually talking about. So let me go ahead and just finish off with this real quick because the other two don't actually have significance anymore. I would say that it is not cheating because the alternative is way worse than what we had back in the ye old days. Your grandma and grandpa did not fall in love with each other at 15 and 19. It was a setup. So if you want to prevent that from happening in America nowadays, just keep it the way it is. Let men cheat in your eyes rather than go ahead and get some side girl.
So
So
we should
that's all I got to.
so we should strive for, in your opinion, less bad instead of striving towards what would be the best.
Yes, yes, 100%. Think about it. We're never going to get perfection.
Do you think porn's good for society?
No, it's not. But it's almost a necessary evil at this point. We cannot not have it.
Okay. All right. Let me ask the chat. All right. This guy thinks he's going to be the president in 2036. Who here would vote for Fawcett? Just say yes, I'd vote for him, or no. Who here would vote for Fawcett if he were to run for president? No,
Remember,
hell no,
folks,
no, 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 no. I can't even keep up with all the no's. Haven't seen a yes yet. No, no, no,
No
no, no,
worries,
no,
no
no.
worries.
Not a
It's probably
chance.
just a
Hell
bunch of
no.
people.
One person, Krispy Kreme, said yes. No, 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 no. Not me, not me, not me, not me. No, no, no. Hell no, hell no, hell no. Okay, look, man. That's feedback for you. Okay?
I get it. I know, but it's okay. A lot of people are wrong about certain topics. You know, global warming is real. Some people deny it. Moon landing happened. Some people deny it. And should we is porn cheating? No, but they still deny it. So it's okay, ladies and gentlemen. I'll hop off the stage and I'll let someone else go ahead and defend, their position. But for all you that are not in a committed relationship, stop going ahead and saying that it's cheating. It's not. If your man actually liked you, he would marry you. Anyways, go ahead. You can throw me off the stage now.
All right, man. Well, it's always a pleasure. Thanks for sharing your perspective. You'll be a great politician for someday. You have everything that it takes.
Thank
See
you.
ya, man.
Appreciate it.
Bye-bye. Oh, my gosh. That was a mistake. I apologize, people. I apologize. I'm sorry. Never again. Never again. He just does that for views. Oh, man. It was entertaining. Was that Kamala in a blonde wig? People like him I instantly block. I thought he was actually going to have something. I don't like talking about people after they're off here, so I'm not going to do it. Oh, man. Thanks for the chat, man. All right, where was I? Yeah, where's Pradeep? Pradeep, I'm probably your oldest viewer. Great Dane Dad. What do you mean, oldest? Like in age, or you've been viewing me the longest? $52. Someone else is 61. So you're not the oldest. Chris M says 61. We got the grannies and grandpas in here tonight. Pradeep 2036. Who's the oldest person in here? Who's the oldest person? We got 62. I do have a lot of patience. I'm gonna hop off. See you, Angela. Take care. 92. Oh, Boogie's 92. 89. Yeah, right. 97. Wow, you guys are real old. Rebecca J. Hi there. How's it going? Hello. Corn coach for president. I would be the worst politician ever. The worst. I'd get thrown off the debate stage. Because I'd be like, hold on. Let's get really clear on this. I'd run for office. Just write my name in when you vote this year. Don't write Austin Hamilton, write porn coach. But make sure you put an X, PXRN coach. Should coach Donald Trump to be a better man. Why isn't this working? Jules, hi there. What's going on? Oh my gosh. I didn't watch the debate. How was it? Which debate was better? The debate with me and Fawcett or the actual debate tonight? Should I read some of the stats on SA? Does everybody want to get depressed for a minute? Or triggered? Sorry. It's 10:42 for me. Shayla Sunday, hi there. How's it going?
Hi.
Hi there. What's up?
No, I thought, are you gonna talk about the debate or are you gonna talk about
Oh, I'm asking the question: is porn cheating? What do you think?
I do. I
You
do.
do? Okay.
I do think. I mean, I understand that you know, fellas need to have their time and have their time off, but also I'm 51 years old and I've been married twice, and I when you secretly find somebody watching porn, that is heartbreaking.
Has that happened to you?
Oh yeah.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Um,
I believe that porn is cheating, and when they're looking for, I mean, if you're happily married in a household and you should be happy and you have everything you need and want, then you should be just happy, right?
I think
Why do
so.
you need to watch porn? What do you think?
Why do I think people need to watch porn? Well, they're medicating some sort of pain that's going on in their heart, in their life, that's been undealt
It's
with.
an addiction, just like gambling or shopping or bipolar. Everybody in this world is bipolar, whether it's one form or another. It's either going to be porn, shopping, addiction, drinking, drugs. Does that make sense?
Everybody's bipolar.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's the assertion you're making.
Well, statistically,
What does bipolar mean as you're using it?
Well, it just means, I don't know. To me, it means like everybody has wants or needs outside of their household, or whether it's gambling, um,
All right.
gambling is a big one.
I'm not following with what you're saying. So I'm going to move on to the next guest. Okay. Thanks for sharing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading some stats. He made the claim that SA is down since 1993, which it looks like, at least initial research, that the R word, forcible R word, is, and this is from Statista, forcible R, but that's different than SA. US, yeah. So he was making the claim that SA is. Anyways, I have to research that more. Yeah, totally. And then there's what's reported versus what's accurate. Anyways, whatever. Hey there, what's going on, Christian? Hello. Nope. Okay. Man, Fawcett, you're a live killer. You still there?
Hey y'all.
Hi there. How's it going?
Hey, I'm pretty good. So this topic is kind of it's a big topic, and I'm sorry I have a slight accent, so get over that, guys.
What's your accent?
No, so I speak English very well. It's just I'm Hispanic, so I have like
Oh,
a slight accent to it.
well, you sound American to me. My wife's Mexican, so I can deal with a slight Hispanic accent.
Okay, that's good.
Okay. All right. What's up?
Okay, so I just wanted to come in and say, I guess like I don't know, like I guess it depends on your view on porn. When I was like dating, I'm married right now, but when I was dating, I really didn't care if they were watching porn or not. But when I got married, I feel like it's a commitment. And if you're hiding it, or if you're hiding it or, like lying about it, I feel like it is cheating because obviously when you're married or not even married, just in a relationship, I feel like you shouldn't have to hide it or, lie about it. And yeah, because I've had this issue with my husband as well. And it gets to a point where it's so frustrating because it's an addiction. And it gets to the point where, like, we can sometimes go about our days with, like, no sex for, like, 2-3 weeks because he's watching porn. Um, so I feel like it is cheating in a way, and it also hurts everyone's feelings. It's more like on my side because I'm trying to look good just like the porn stars, or I get like self-conscious about my body and
Why are you trying to do that?
do what?
Compete with something that's fake.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, even if it's not like it shouldn't matter, it does because your spouse is watching something and you're trying to, like, I don't know, like be better or like look better. So I feel like, yeah, it is cheating because he's lusting over someone else. And if you guys believe in the Bible or not, I don't know if you do. I respect all religions, but in the Bible it mentions how if you're looking at something, it's lust in like a sexual way. So
It
I'm a
says
big
if
believer in the Bible.
it says a man who looks at a woman with lustful intent has committed adultery with her in his heart. That's what the Bible
Exactly.
says.
That's the verse. So I feel like in order for a marriage to work, it kind of has to, you kind of have to base yourself with the Bible, and for a successful marriage.
Does your husband still watch pornography?
So we've had a lot of talks about this, and he said he has, but I don't know. I don't know if he's hiding it or he's not being honest with me. But I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like he does, but he doesn't tell me because I'll get upset, obviously.
Okay. How have you found him watching it before?
I haven't. Well, yeah, kind of, because like I don't know what it is with like guys doing it in the bathroom where like they're supposedly like going to the bathroom and they just take like 30 minutes, 40 minutes in there. And I mean, it's kind of obvious. And I could sometimes hear like the little noises, it makes. I don't want to be too graphic.
It's like slapping two pieces of bologna together.
Yeah, there you go.
It's my favorite line. I'm glad I got to use that one again.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So, hey, Krispy Kreme, you really should come on here and chat. I'd love to chat. Well, why don't you ask him if he's using it?
So, like, I tried that before going, like, I tried approaching him, like, not being mad or, stuff like that. And
Why wouldn't you be mad?
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to go up to him and tell him I'm not mad. It's okay. Like, it's an addiction, I guess. And he just
Why
lies
not be
about
mad
it.
though?
And I know
Why
he's
not be
lying.
mad? Hey, excuse me. I, do you masturbate while watching other women have sex? I'm just like, or like, what the bro? Like, are you doing this?
I tried all the approaches. I've tried going the mad one, the sad one, the freaking everything, the understanding one, if you may say.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel
Well,
like it is cheating.
yeah. Well, in my experience, the curious one is the one that works the best. Be curious with him about it. Krispy Kreme, you don't need a certain amount. You can request and come on here.
I
So
did. I
be
actually
curious.
did. I'm like, hey, like, I was like, hey, like, what's going on? Why do you like watching it? And all he says is like, oh, I'm trying to relieve stress. And I'm like, I'm right here. We literally haven't done it for like such amount of time. And
What do you
he was.
what do you
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, go ahead. What did he
No,
say?
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say,
This is completely different.
what do you imagine would be different in your life or in your marriage if you didn't have to worry about if your husband's watching porn or not?
I feel like we'd probably be more intimate, not only in like the sex way, but like connecting wise.
Yeah. You'd probably unlock levels of intimacy that you never even thought were possible. What's up, that guy Flex?
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
So we've been married a year and a half, but dating for 3.
Do you have kids?
No, not yet.
Okay. Are you wanting him to not watch porn?
Yeah, we've talked about it, and he said he'd stop, or because I also didn't want to give him an ultimatum about it, because like, hey, if you keep watching this, like, we need to like get a divorce or something. But yeah, I didn't want to do that, so I don't know, like, I want him to stop because I know he still does. And this is the hardest part because he is in the military. I'm in the military. So he is stationed overseas.
Mm-hmm.
And I am back in the States.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like it's kind of hard because I don't know what he's doing out there.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of question marks in your relationship.
Oh, yeah,
And
definitely.
I would highly encourage you to figure some of these things out before you have kids.
Yeah,
For
I mean,
sure.
I'm on like contraceptives or whatever, like the implant, but I don't want to really have a kid till I'm actually sure it's going to work out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Excuse me.
Yeah, but
Oh man.
it's kind of hard. I'm agreeing with the comments here. It's kind of hard.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you can do it. You can muster up the courage to have a different conversation if you so choose, and it's going to be hard, but it's worth fighting for if that's what you're wanting.
Yeah, I do love him, but it's just little stuff here and there that kind of make me feel iffy about this situation or relationship.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah,
You
it's
got to
kind of
follow
hard.
that. Got to pull that thread.
We'll see.
All right.
Thank you for having me on here, though.
Yeah. Thanks for sharing.
Thank you.
Bye bye. So tonight in the women's group, by the way, I'm a coach. I have groups for women dealing with betrayal trauma and men dealing with unwanted sexual behavior. If you're interested in that, go to the link in my bio. We did a shame exercise where we talk about carried shame, which is when a betrayed partner carries the shame of somebody else. And the notion here is to give back the carried shame. Because you cannot heal carried shame because it doesn't belong to you. The only thing you can do with carried shame is to give it back. We give it back by releasing ourselves from the burden of carrying it and by expecting our partners to become accountable for their actions and behaviors. One way to do this is to make a list of the ways you are carrying the shame for your partner around the sexual betrayal. And then the book, it invites you to take some time to think about the ways that you have allowed the cheating partner's behavior to affect how you think and feel about yourself. This is what carried shame is: the change in your self-perception that results from someone else's behavior. Here are some examples. I carry shame around my partner's lying and gaslighting behaviors by believing I am a fool for trusting them. I carry shame around my spouse choosing to have sex with the affair partner by believing I am not beautiful or sexy enough for my partner to remain faithful to me. I carry shame around my partner's addiction by believing there is something wrong with me that caused me to marry an addict. I carry shame around my partner's cheating by feeling embarrassed about my sexual preferences and expression. I carry shame from a culture that tells me that if my partner cheated on me, it's because something is wrong with our relationship. And then the invitation is to write a letter about that. Not that you'll send to them, but in order to dismantle the shame. Can I clip that whole bit and put it on my page? Probably not, because my AI clipping software won't clip that. But if you want to do exercises like that in community with other women experiencing betrayal and heal together, join my coaching group. All right. or buy the book, The Betrayal Bind. J-Maz, hi there. How's it going?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. What's up?
So, I agree with you actually. Like, I believe, everything that you say, and I've always had like the strong opinion on how, I believe it is cheating, but I just have a couple questions from like experience, if you don't mind me asking.
Sure.
So, I'm young. I'm 20 years old, and I'm a sophomore in college. And, unfortunately, I've experienced the struggles of pornography and what it does to the brain and how it affects relationships and all that. And I've had a girlfriend for about like 4 years now, and I struggled with it for a while. And it's finally gotten to the point where, like, I've spoken to a therapist about it, and he's helped me about it. And my girlfriend is fully supportive of, me getting help. And was it disappointing in her? Of course it was, because how could it not be? But, I'm grateful that she's definitely here to support me. But how do I kind of overcome that guilt and shame for not only putting myself through that, watching pornography, but also putting my my amazing, perfect girlfriend through that at the same time? And I'm so grateful that she, came out to be supportive of me, and instead of like lashing out on me, which she easily could have done, but she chose to be really understandable and respectful. And I just think I deserve to give her that love back, in a way where I just completely drop pornography and all of it. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, great question. And first of all, great job for you asking these questions at your age and wanting to do better for yourself and for your girlfriend.
Thank
I'm also
you.
going to tuck away the amazing perfect part. Okay. We'll just put that one aside.
Sure. Sure.
We may or may not come back to it. How do you dismantle the shame? Well, you got to, first of all, I'd recommend reading the book Unwanted. If there's like one thing that I recommend, it's read this book, see a therapist or a coach or a counselor, and join a community.
Mhm.
Those three things: education, one-on-one work to deep dive into your story, and then being in community is super important. But you got to name clearly, like, what are you carrying shame about, right? You may not even be aware of it right now. I just read that little bit from the book, and it brought up time for me when I was betrayed in a relationship. I had a girlfriend, and she was fooling around with other guys. And as I was even preparing for my session tonight, I recalled that, and I was like, oh my gosh, I did carry shame over that. That her doing that must have meant that there was something wrong with me. I wouldn't have named it that when I was in that relationship. But I was in, again, this was 20 years ago, and I got to go back and kind of revisit what I was experiencing there. So you got to know what you're carrying shame about. Okay. You don't have to answer these questions, but it's like, well, what happened when you were a child? Just childhood trauma, maybe. Some of the origin stories, not only with sexuality, but just about with your primary caregivers. right? Your parents or whoever it was that raised you, what stories that you formed based on how you were raised and experiences that you had, where you carried shame, and then as it does relate to sex and sexuality, as you were kind of learning about, you know, your body and things. So you got to be clear on what it is, and then there's a ton of different modalities on how to actually do that, right? One way to do that is journaling. Another way is being in community with it. You said you're working with a therapist. What's come up for you in your work with the therapist so far?
So it's kind of funny. We've actually kind of have different viewpoints on it. I told him how I think I think in a way it's cheating and how it's straight up just lustful, selfish, a selfish need to be fulfilled in a way that's just not right. And he thinks that I forgot the way he put it, but he said it's not lustful it's not lustful to a degree because you're not physically there with that person. You're looking at them through a screen. And I kind of said,
Find a
okay,
new
I understand
therapist.
that.
You're being gaslit by your therapist.
That's it. Well, I said, I think it's wrong. I think I'm using these women as objects, which is almost essentially what lust is. Using these women as objects to fulfill these shortcoming of needs that I want. And I just think not only am I, degrading myself in that way, I don't know if you want to say it that way, but in a sense, doing the same thing to these women who are on the screen. I mean, they have lives, they're actual human people, and it might not look that way through what they're providing on the screen, but I don't know. It was kind of like a little wall I hit with my therapist there.
Yeah, that's very unfortunate, and I'm not saying he's a bad therapist, but he probably is. If
Mhm.
you're sitting there in a session trying to convince your therapist that something as self-evident as watching pornography, being lustful, that is insane.
Yeah.
That is unbelievable. That's like going to a doctor with like a compound fracture, a bone sticking out of your arm, and be like, I think my arm's broken. And they're like, nah, it's fine. Just like put a Band-Aid on it. It'll get better. But it's like, no, the evidence points to something different. What's
Mhm.
up, Brandy? We missed you. Okay. How many times have you seen that therapist?
It's only been about a month since I've started seeing him once every week.
Yeah. All right. Well, again, I'm not going to say he's a bad therapist, but he probably is. Maybe that's just not a fit. Okay. Because again, you shouldn't, in my opinion, you shouldn't be spending your time trying to convince a therapist. Look, someone else just said, as a therapist myself, that's weird your therapist would say that.
Yeah.
That's just not appropriate. Okay. So, and look, again, give the person the benefit of the doubt. Maybe it's the wrong fit or whatever. He's probably still a bad therapist, though. I'll say that 5 more times as I'm talking to you. But find somebody who actually is helpful for you. Right. So you're coming at such a good place, man, on how you're approaching this, and working through some of that stuff is going to be helpful. So what else have you done or have you been doing to work on this?
I think a lot of it is just getting more active to try and distract myself. But, with like an example, just trying to go to the gym more, trying to just pick up shifts or work more just to get out of the house. But although those are good things, I kind of noticed that those are just small bandages over the big wound that, that's been there. So I think
what's
really
the big wound?
I just the want to watch pornography. It's like, and I always kind of refer to in cartoons they have the devil on one shoulder, the angel on the other shoulder, and sometimes it just seems it's like that back and forth in my head. And, sometimes on a daily basis, sometimes on a weekly basis, and sometimes I'll just be sitting there, playing a video game, whatnot, or even doing homework, and I'm just like, there's nothing there that could you think there's nothing there that could trigger me, but it's just like sometimes randomly in my head, it's just like I just get the want out of nowhere to want to do it. And sometimes it's really hard for me to identify how I can take the step to kind of call myself, reevaluate myself, and just be like, hey, this is your mind, just wanting to do what it's been taught to do for the last 4 years because you've let itself. How do I get myself out of that? And I think that's just where I have the really hard problem, is where I'm in the moment where I'm feeling the temptation overcome me, but it's like how I can't find the right step, I guess you could say, to just take myself out of it and just flee from it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's up, California, Mary? So here's the thing: behavior modification is useful, but it's not the end goal. It's not treating the underlying issue like you just described. So, but again, don't lose sight of how useful that can be. And going back to the root of the issue, that's something you got to uncover. Look, man, if I were coaching you, which I'm not, although maybe I am, can I coach you?
Yeah, of course.
All right. I would recommend, like, this may not be as out of reach as you think. Now, I don't know if there's like underlying childhood trauma or something like that there. Is there any? Like
No,
capital
there's
T
not.
trauma? Okay.
No.
I would honestly, man, read this book. Go read another book called Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. And if you think you need to keep working with a therapist, do that. Great. But like, start reading some of these books. Man's Search for Meaning says that a man without a purpose or vision in life distracts himself with pleasure. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, figure out like what's going on in your life. You're in school, it sounds like. You're trying to be physically active. That's great. But like, as you discover what your purpose is for your life, your vision is for your life, and you actually live into that, the desire to go to these youthful temptations will go away. Right? So how do you flee the youthful temptations? We'll find something to fill it with. Now, again, is there a wound there? There may be a capital T wound or not, I don't know. But again, just exploring and unpacking what happened around the time when you were exposed to pornography, like in your family system. I'm not asking you to answer that right now, but just kind of look at the family dynamics that were at play. Presumably you were exposed around age 10 to 13 or so. And it's like, how did that happen?
Mm-hmm.
Who showed it to you? Who left it for you to see? Who gave you a device that didn't have any restrictions on it?
Mm-hmm.
And you can then kind of evaluate your worldview or your family of origin rather. And that can be the wound right there. It's like nobody was here to protect me when I was exposed to pornography. Not to blame them, right? And then just unpack that. How does that land with you?
It definitely hits a close place just because, a lot of my friends when I was like in middle school and whatnot, they looked at, at pornography like it was like this crown jewel. And, if you watched it, you were the cool kid, and all that typical stuff. But like, even then I always found it, disgusting and almost like scary in a way. And I think it's honestly because of luckily my parents were really, really protective of me and put a lot of parental controls on my devices, which I didn't like at the time, but obviously I'm grateful for it now. But it's just how like normalized it was. It was just like one day, I was around my friends so often, they were talking about it so often. It was just like, I'm like, why not give this a try? And I think I remember I was around like 14 or something when I first watched it. And I was like, I didn't think anything of it at the time because I didn't know that it was considered bad just because of how it was being praised around my friend group, obviously, teenagers being, stupid teenagers. But, and then it's just like one day I remember I just got this really big urge to just watch out of nowhere. And I did. And it just seemed like ever since then, that was like the takeoff point. And it's just been a struggle almost ever since. But I'm glad to say that I've had like a lot of progress since then. I've learned a lot about, myself and like how to, deal with self-control and whatnot over those years. But yeah, I mean, definitely a struggle that I still deal with for sure.
Yeah. So just exploring that a little bit more. I'd also ask, like, does anybody else in your life know that you're struggling with this?
My parents do. Yeah. My parents and my girlfriend. Yeah.
Okay. And that's why community is so important. I have a community, man. It does cost money. There are other communities out there that are free, like SAA, things like that.
Mhm.
It's so important to be in community with this. We have guys that are as young as 20. We've had 18-year-olds in the group. But just to be around people who are all striving towards the same or similar thing, which is being a better man. And one of the ways that we do that is by unpacking our pornography stories, our sexual origin stories, our family of origin stories, and how do we strive to be something better.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So find community where you can be open and authentic with other people. Now, unfortunately, broadly speaking, your peers are going to, in many cases, shame you for this, for having this point of view. And that will be a huge thing for you to overcome, is not letting that get in the way of what you're committed to, which is to leave all that behind, which is great,
Yeah.
by the way. Because when you're in your mid-30s and their lives are falling apart, you'll be a rock for them that they can count on.
Mm-hmm.
I just hear it in your voice, man. You got a lot going for you.
Yeah, thank you. And then I just see a comment, how my girlfriend felt about it and like how I addressed it to her. I went through a long period of time thinking about how to address it to her because, the first thing I thought of was, okay, she's going to break up with me because I'm looking at other women on the screen for lustful reasons. And sure, she could have if she wanted to. But what I thought, it took a lot for me to dig deep and just think, I can easily go the rest of this relationship with her. She wouldn't know a single thing about it. But on the inside, that would just make me feel worse and worse and worse. Being, I can't be in a dishonest relationship with someone. I think I have to come clean, no matter good or bad. And just knowing that really is kind of what gave me the motivation to just tell her and come clean. And like I said, she had the choice where she could have reacted terribly, and she could have yelled at me, did this and whatever. But I'm very grateful that she decided to say, hey, like, I get it, I understand. People go through temptation, and pornography, unfortunately, is so normalized these days. But I'm here for you, and I'll be like your rock to lean on. And I thank her almost like every day, just because of like how she treated me with that. And I think she told me too how she used to watch porn a while ago too, and I wasn't mad at her either. I understood her. I'm like, I get it. And we both are kind of like we both tell each other, hey, like if we're ever tempted, we'll tell each other and just remind each other what our values are, and how we just see this as a very, very not so good thing for us in our relationship. So I think it's just trying to stick to your values as a person, but just also, with our values within a relationship really just like goes to show how great she is. So I'm very, very thankful.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And you guys have a great foundation for
Mm-hmm.
your relationship, that you both were able to see each other where they're at, have compassion for one another, forgiveness, grace, and then the willingness to go again, to strive to do better. That's
Mm-hmm.
awesome. Way to go.
Thank you.
Yeah. You said you're 20?
I am. Yep.
Yeah. Good for you, man. I love it. What are you studying?
Thank you. Psychology. I want to be a clinical therapist.
Okay. Well, you got a great model for how not to do it with your current therapist.
Yeah. And another thing too is, I remember walking into his office and kind of just laying this all out on the table, but, to him. And, I told him how porn was never, luckily it wasn't really an everyday thing for me. I'd say it was like maybe 2-3 times a week. And after every time, I felt guilty and terrible after every single time. And I told him, he asked me how much I watch porn. And I said about 2 to 3 times a week. And he said 2 to 3 times a week, I've had people come in here and they watch it, 60 times a day. And it's like, that's nothing. And I'm like, I don't care what how many times other people watch. I'm in here for me. And if 2 to 3 times is terrible, it's terrible for me. I want to work on that. And he understood that. But it was just kind of the way he's been forming, like what he said just doesn't really sit right with me, I guess, in a sense. And I feel like he views it from a different way that I view it. So I thought about not going back to him solely because of those reasons. But yeah, what do you think?
What do you think I think, man? I've said it
Yeah.
10 times already. I mean, that
Yeah.
is so, it's so, look, you got to take it with a grain of salt as well, because I tend to work with a lot of people as a coach who have had bad experiences with therapists. So I'm biased, whatever you want to call it. There are good therapists out there. Let me be clear. There seem to be harder to come by in my experience, but they do exist. If you're going and presenting with a problem that's like within the realm of legitimate, there are certain things that people are going to therapists for in 2024. I'll leave those things unnamed. That, it's a whole nother conversation. But if you're going with a legitimate problem, why is he trying to convince you that it's not a problem, or minimize it or compare it to somebody else? It's like, let's treat the issue.
Yeah.
Right? Now, what I make of that, and I'm going to guess, and I'm probably right, is that guy probably watches a lot of porn. And it's triggering some sort of insecurity in him, and professionally, he can't separate that. So he's finding a way to try to justify it in the room with you on your dime as a patient.
Right.
It's like, I don't know how therapy licensing works, but that guy should be unsubscribed from being a therapist, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it almost seemed like he was trying to like validate what I was saying, and I'm like, no, like this isn't what I want.
Yeah. So that's just not helpful. But you can find a therapist that will help you.
Right.
Sure,
Yeah.
no doubt about that. I also would not underestimate the power of community. Okay. And again, I'm not trying to sell you on joining my community, though I think you'd be a great fit for it and you get a ton of value. Sometimes I think people, they think they have all these problems and they need to be in therapy for them, which in many cases they do. But I've had people where they'll join my group and they'll say, hey, I've gotten more out of being in this group for 2 weeks than I have in 6 months worth of therapy. And then I'm just like, well, what are these therapists doing? Right. So is some one-on-one therapy right for you? I don't know. Again, I don't know your situation. You're there for a reason, but also when you're dealing with shame, that was the first question I think or was it you or somebody else, is how do you deal with the shame? Shame festers in the darkness, but it can't stand being spoken to the light. So when you start speaking the shame to the light with other people, again, that can be in therapy, that can be journaling, that can be with friends or family, or if you have a faith community or something like that, it can be in a recovery group. The shame just goes away. It's amazing. So that's one part of it. But man, I would tell you, read Unwanted, read Man's Search for Meaning. Another book called Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. That would be a good one. There's a lot of resources there that will help you move forward in this.
Yeah, and I just want to say to everyone out there, to anyone who struggles with watching porn, that you can overcome it. You really can. And I think it should be. I think pornography should be illegal. I think it's terrible. I feel bad for all the filmmakers and the people who participate in it. But if you really want to have a true loving relationship with your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, whoever, just porn cannot even be a thought in it. You devote your life, your sexual life to one another, and just you'll really see the difference from what it's like to have that compared to having a relationship where porn is involved. And it's like night and day, and I can tell you from firsthand. So
yeah, for sure.
All
right, man, thanks for sharing. Keep
yeah, no problem. Thank you.
All right, see you, man. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to go to bed soon. California Mary, what's up? The debate is up. I didn't watch it. Can't wait to figure out what happened, though. Who won? Who won the debate? Oh, gosh, California Mary. What books do you recommend for healing betrayal trauma? It's really the same recipe. The couple books, Betrayal Bind, Facing Heartbreak, and get into a support group. I have support groups for women going through betrayal trauma. You can go to link in my bio.
I just wanted to say your last guest was so mature for his age.
Wasn't that crazy?
Yeah, really, I'm really impressed with his deepness, or what's a good word for it. If he's
Insight.
listening, yeah, his insight, like stay on the right track, bro. Like that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
what we need to see more of. I've been meeting a lot of younger kids that are, you know, really insightful. I'm impressed. I thought we were losing the young folks.
Yeah.
But so that was interesting. I came in towards the end of it, but yeah, that was. I'm glad he came on.
Yeah. Yeah. He sounded like a good kid.
Have you been on a long time? Because I just.
Yeah, about 2 hours, and I'm gonna get off soon. I can't be going past midnight anymore. It's just
Yeah.
not good for anybody.
Well, sleep good.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for
I
sharing.
won't come back. Bye.
Yeah. Right. I'll believe it when I see it. All right. One last person. Whoever wants to come on here last, you got to give me a gift if you want to be the last person. Give me a gift that a TikTok gift that catches my attention. I'll bring you on. By the way, I'm a coach. I do one-on-one coaching as well as group coaching. If you are sitting here thinking, oh my gosh, I've been betrayed, I'm struggling with betrayal trauma, what do I do? I'm so alone. I'm angry, but I'm trying not to be angry. I'm mad. I love him. I hate him. What do I do? Consider joining one of my coaching groups, one of my private coaching groups for women. You can get the link in my bio. It's $99 a month. We meet for an hour and 15 minutes weekly on Zoom, and we talk about your situation as well as how to move forward in community. If you're dealing with unwanted sexual behavior, I have groups for men as well. We meet Tuesday nights and Wednesdays. Same thing, $99 a month. And we meet for an hour and 15 minutes weekly on Zoom. It's a great place to heal in community and to unpack the story of how you got here and to move forward. It was a 3-against-1 debate, and I still don't know anymore about Harris Paul. No. Not cheating, but it's terrible for your relationship. Who gave that gift? Did somebody... My multi-guest box is like frozen. Pretty Princess? I don't even see you on my list, Pretty Princess. Did you request? Can we talk about anything to do with relationships in the meetings? You can talk about anything you want to in the meetings. People talk about their relationships. However, I always, or generally, the women's groups are led by myself and other female contributors, but we talk about what's going on for you, the origin of the wound for you. Some people have other addictions that they're dealing with. It can be children. It's really just like anything you're at the end of the day, coaching is about where do you want to go and where are you stuck and how can we get you to where you want to go. But it's through the lens of betrayal trauma. So, that informs much of the conversation. All right. I something's wrong with my TikTok thing right now. The gift thing. So I'll bring Pretty Princess on because I think I did see a gift from her. I'm assuming it's a her. Hi there, what's going on?
Hi, how are you tonight? How's everyone doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing better, but not that great. I spoke to you like weeks ago that I recently found out that my husband was watching porn the whole time, that when he told me that he wasn't, and he was using Cognito. And then it went from that to fantasizing about a friend. Then it became more, after we spoke, it became more and more stuff that I knew, flirting with a family friend, fantasizing about her, having a crush on her, having a crush on my friend, and having a crush on his coworker. And that, not only that, but you guys help me out, but also he's having sex with me and fantasy and replacing. I'm just a vessel, and he's replacing me with them. Imagining like he's having sex with that particular person. Not even people on the website on porn. It's like people we know that we interact with mutual acquaintances. So I'm like obsessed. I'm like playing this over and over, and I'm like in depression, betrayal, trauma. I'm like all over the place. He's doing a great job at telling me, I love you, I desire you, I love you, I desire you. But it's like we have these moments where we're like really good and I'm distracted and I remember how we fell in love, and I mean he's doing everything good, and then this triggers me and now I'm being like horrible, and I keep asking questions. The thing is that I ask questions, he answers them, he lies about it. Well, first of all, he doesn't even answer them, he goes around it, and then I'm very good at like trying to like word it differently so he can say it. He finally says it. He even lied twice about saying he lied twice saying, oh, I lied that I told you the truth but I really didn't tell you the truth, but it was also a lie. And he even said, I can go get.
So can I read something to you?
Yes.
So this, you said something that struck me, that this comes from the porn myth. I read this the other day. As one wife told me, when we watch porn in the bedroom, I don't get the feeling that he's really with me. I'm not his lover. He's just masturbating in my body. You said something that reminded me of that, but I'm sorry you're going through all that. What are you wanting to be different with him?
Like, it's like I feel like it happened, like this is years, and I felt like it already happened, even though he's seeing a therapist on his own and he's doing the work. I think the exercise is like refocus that lust and don't and refocus on your wife. However, last weekend he did tell me, I asked and he did tell me he lusted, it was a company thing, and he lusted over his coworker, and I told him, tell me what you fantasized about, and he told me, and obviously that's devastating. I reward him for telling me the truth. I say thank you for telling me the truth, so I don't lash out. It's when he gaslights me that I lash out. That's when I lose my stuff. I see red, and I know I shouldn't do this, and I start hitting him. I start throwing stuff, and that's the thing that I'm not proud of, and I don't like it, and I'm trying to control that because that's not me. That's not me at all. He's actually here listening. I don't know if you want to ask him any questions.
Oh, sure. Hey, what's up, man?
Hello. How you
What's
doing?
going on? I'm doing good, thanks. So do you watch porn?
I have stopped actually, but yes, I've watched it throughout the years. Yes.
Okay. How old are you?
47.
Okay. And how old's your wife?
44.
Okay. When did you stop watching porn?
It's been about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe 21 days.
All right. Well, good job. When did you originally start watching it?
Maybe when I was 27.
27?
Yeah.
You never watched it before then?
No, I might have watched like a magazine, but never like a video or nothing like that.
Okay. So for roughly 20 years, when you were 27 till, I think you said you're 47, you were watching porn and you quit 3 weeks ago. How often were you watching it when you were watching it?
I would say there was periods where I would watch it more often, and then I would go long periods without watching it. So it's hard to say, I guess.
Okay.
But I would watch it maybe once a week, every so often.
Okay. With what your wife shared, what do you think is missing from your relationship, and what do you think maybe you want to change or improve?
Well, I'm actually seeing a therapist, and this helped me a lot. Um, I also started reading a book, also kind of helped.
What book?
And um, it's called Every Man's Battle, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Every Man's Battle. So that's been extremely helpful, I would say. Yeah.
Okay. Good. Um, okay. Um, all right. Nice chatting with you.
Thank you. It's nice talking to you too.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually interested in attending your group.
Yeah.
Though, so maybe I'll do that in the future. Yeah.
Yeah. Sure. You can go to link in my bio for info on that. Um, and your wife, what are you wanting to be different? You kind of just handed the phone over to him, but where do you find yourself with the betrayal?
Is there a way where I am not gonna? Okay, because I literally, okay, these women look a certain way, and I lost during these weeks. I've lost a lot of weight already. I colored my hair just like them, which and actually, I always dyed my hair red, but I went back to like a really lighter red because the coworker has red hair. Now today I was telling him which contacts should I wear because she has like hazel eyes, and he kept saying, "Oh, what about these hazel eyes?" He kept directing hazel eyes. I was like, whatever you think I like, whatever you think that will look good, whatever you like. He says he likes the way her top her top is very full, her bottom is very full, her body she's very curvy. We just saw her for the company thing. It was in at the pool, and she was wearing a bathing suit, and he was like checking her out. I even asked him when he went back to the. I let him. I was like, you can go downstairs by yourself at the pool. Like, I didn't think much of it, to be honest. When he came back, I asked him, did anything trigger? He said no. He promised me no. But later on that day, I pressed him again, and he said, yeah, I did. I checked her out twice. I hugged her. I got close to her top, and I fantasized what she looks like naked, and whatnot. So this is where I'm at right now. I started looking at body sculpting. So they take liposuction from your own fat, like stomach, back, or whatever, legs, and then they put them in your top and your bottom. I don't know if I could say those words, but and so because I'm older, and I've gained and lost a lot of weight, so my top is not that big, and they're saggy, like I make fun of them, of myself, and I don't have a derriere, I'm very flat there, and so I asked him, would it help if I got this procedure done? He said yes, that it would help. He said that with doing the exercises, that he's going to eventually redirect that energy to me.
So
But
what is that going to accomplish by changing your body?
I guess he's gonna be busy looking at my butt, and checking out my butt, and checking out my cleavage, and I don't even show cleavage. But I guess these girls, he really, he knows what he likes. He's been very
Sorry, I do this from time to time. I'm not saying I'm right. I just have to ask. Are you guys trolling right now,
no,
or is
no,
this
no,
real?
no,
You
no,
sure?
no. I promise you, I promise you, I promise you, I am not.
Okay.
I no, this is real. I don't even know. This is not a troll. I've seen your trolls online, but this is not a troll. This is real me. I was on your live a few weeks ago,
Yeah, I remember.
And I, yes, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, are you in therapy?
I'm not in, I'm in therapy for something else because I got chronic illness and for that, but I don't want to mix the two. So I think I'm going to get another.
Why don't you want to mix the two? It's all connected.
I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed because eventually I am going to be on a bigger platform and um,
What does
I'm
that mean?
writing a book. I'm writing a book about my illness and everything. This is my private account. I'm so embarrassed. I am so embarrassed, even though I'm not the one that did this to me. I am so embarrassed because you guys, I speak so highly of my husband. I know he loves me. I know he loves me. He adores me. He just has this, this vice, this thing, okay? And I'm so sad.
What's the illness you're writing a book about with your story?
If I say the community on TikTok's gonna know it's me, and I don't want that because I'm very, very embarrassed. It's an autoimmune disease, but I cannot say because I'm very embarrassed, you guys. I'm very embarrassed, and I speak so highly of my husband. I post about my husband. I love him. I'm not going anywhere. We're not. It's obviously I'm disabled, so. And I thought, okay,
Why is that obvious?
because I'm disabled, I can't go anywhere, and I sound great right now, but I do have a speech impediment due to my illness, and I feel very insecure. Who's gonna want me? And I don't want anybody else. I don't want anybody. That's not even my future. It's like I told them we could have a partnership. If you, I feel like I have to unlove him to not care, to not feel.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank you. But I'm gonna, when we get money in, I, I want my husband to do your program and then I want to do the ladies program because I honestly feel like I want and need um support from the women that are going through this because I'm so embarrassed. I'm not gonna tell my family or my friends, my girlfriends. I don't want to put my husband in that light. I'm not gonna do that. I rather TikTok friends and be there for each other. Like, hey, your husband too. Yeah, I'm having a
Well,
bad day.
TikTok's not real life. It's
No, it's real people. I'm
well,
a real person.
it's real people, but it's not. Okay. All right. Well, thanks for sharing.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bye bye.
Appreciate it.
All right. Last one. Did I say that before? Oh, I was recording. That's why my computer wasn't working. Pick me, pick me. Everybody wants to be picked. I need to vent. So, Megan, you didn't even request. So much to say. You need to catch me up. Have I talked to you, Nessie? Hi there. What's going on?
Hi. So I spoke to you a month ago and I was just popping up on your live. And I just started continuously watching. Sometimes I pop in and see what's going on in the conversation, but hold on, sorry. I took notes because I knew I'd forget. Tonight's just been crazy on the live, so scatterbrained. But basically, I myself have also caught my boyfriend watching porn, and he's going to the military. Like I said, we spoke about this, and we had a conversation because, like I said, I caught him again. He left one of his windows open on his phone, and we talked about it, and it basically went the same way it did the first time we had the conversation. Basically, that I needed him to stop with the whole. Uh, uh, Sorry, I'm so tired. With the whole like betray of trust situation, and I kind of got it off my chest for the most part. But I feel like there's still some things that I kind of like didn't feel like, now that I'm thinking about it, I quite got off my chest, and I don't know how to bring it to him, to his attention. I know one of your biggest things about it is like have a good support system, and let somebody other than your partner know about the problem. And the day that I had caught it, I was on the way to his grandma's house, and she consoled me and asked me what the problem was, asked me if I wanted her to talk to him for me, but I told her yes, told her no, and then she ended up doing it anyways recently. But yeah,
How'd that
like,
go?
from your experience with
Well, yeah. Go ahead. What's your question?
basically, I just don't know how I'm gonna quite get that off my chest. How could I express that to him, being that he does have somebody else who knows about the situation?
So you want to tell him that his grandma knows?
No, I'm sorry. I think I kind of got you a little bit misunderstood and didn't explain it properly. So sorry.
No, it's okay.
Yeah, no,
try to track it down.
I don't know how to quite get through to him about the situation. Necessarily,
What are you wanting to get through to him?
well, that it's kind of hurtful, and the conversation went the same, being as I won't do this, and from your experience with pornography and infidelity, I think I could be wrong, but how do I kind of bring that conversation up again, because I really do want to get him into to seek therapy, but I'm trying not to escalate the situation.
You really want a lot for this guy that he doesn't seem to want.
Well, I'm not too sure if, because we had this conversation about a year ago, and so funny that it happened around the same time of year once again. I ended up just coming across that, and I feel like both times we've had the discussion, like now somebody knows other than me. His grandma knows. So I just kind of want him to uncover the root of the issue, and I just don't know how to get him to be more open, like the guy that came up earlier who was willing to do therapy.
Here's the thing is, he might not be. He might not be open to it. He might not want to change. You can waste your life trying to get this guy to see things the way you want to see them, or you want him to see them.
Yeah.
And he might never. I'm not saying don't try, but just take an honest look at, are you wanting something that he doesn't want?
Right.
Right? You've made a couple good faith attempts, it sounds like. But again, this is where boundaries can come into play. Hey, here's my boundary. I'm declaring I won't be in a relationship with somebody who watches porn. I don't care what you do. You can watch porn, you can not watch porn, but if I'm going to be in a relationship with somebody, there won't be porn involved.
Yeah.
What's
fair.
your choice? And if he says, you know what, I'm not going to watch porn, great. How can I know that? Given that you've got a history of it, and given that we know that it doesn't stop overnight, how can we know that? How can we start to have communication about this?
Okay.
So I think, though, the heart of your question is how do you bring it up to him?
Exactly.
Directly.
I'm so
Directly.
sorry.
Like what's the specific, precise question you're wanting to ask him?
Exactly what you just laid out for me. Like, matter of fact, you've just given me tons of points to bring up in conversation when I do talk about it, because
Yeah.
that kind of helped.
Yeah. So you got to be, if that's what you're wanting, you got to be firm in it. Hey, this is
I
my
am.
boundary.
I am. Just like there's suppressed emotions for his behavior, it's like, same with me. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I think it is important to put up those boundaries.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for coming back.
Thank you. You have a good one.
All right. You too. Bye bye. All right. I'm done. I got to go to bed. Once my eyes are like this, red and bloodshot, I got to go to bed. All right. Thanks for being here, everyone. Should I read a little chapter again before I go to bed from The Porn Myth? What do you want to hear? Fantastic book. How about this? Oh, porn is only fantasy. It doesn't affect our real lives. It's a good one. Let's read this chapter. Oh my gosh, this chapter's long though. I'll read part of this. Keep you coming back for more. This book is called The Porn Myth. I don't show it for very long because it has a P word on it. Porn is only fantasy. It doesn't affect our real lives. For years, the debate about media's effect on real-life behavior has been in the spotlight. What role might violent media play in our lives? Can what we see on screen, no matter how obviously made up it may be, actually influence how we behave? How does exposure to violence affect our maturity? How does it affect our society? These questions carry over into the debate about the effects of pornography. Does pornography alter human behavior? Does it really make a difference? Do images actually have that much power over us? The resounding answer, proven by countless studies, is that media does affect how we think and how we behave. The advertising industry is proof that media has a powerful influence over our thoughts. Companies invest billions in advertising campaigns in the hopes that their 30 seconds of great graphics and catchy jingles will be enough to get you thinking about buying and then talking about their products. Their products might not be much different from a competitor's, but the goal of their advertising campaign is for you to choose theirs. Companies spend an estimated $180 billion on advertising each year. Executives are literally banking on the fact that advertising brings customers. Media changes minds. You may be thinking, well, sure, that's advertising. It's not the same as pornography. Pornography is different. After all, pornography is not real. It is fantasy, and we know that. It is just harmless fun and safer than engaging in risky sexual activities. I'm currently reading The Porn Myth. It is true that most pornography is scripted and heavily edited, but that does not lessen its effects on the viewer, his body, and his relationships. To understand the full extent of pornography's power to alter our sexual behavior, we have to understand how the human mind learns. Humans engage in a process called observational learning. We learn to do something by watching it being done. In one of the first studies of observational learning, children watched an adult act aggressively towards an inflatable punching bag, throwing it in the air, hitting it with a mallet, and sitting on it. When given an opportunity to play with the same punching bag, the children, who had witnessed the adult's aggressive behavior, tended to copy it. Observational learning can be seen in how pornography use affects the behavior of its viewers. In Norway, a group of researchers has recognized the teaching power of pornography. They are calling for reform in the porn industry for the purpose of teaching safe sex. They believe that average pornography consumers cannot be taught about sex using traditional methods, and that promoting, quote, safe sex pornographic films may be an effective way of normalizing safe sex. If educators believe that pornography can teach safe sex, then it is certainly capable of teaching other lessons, including aggression. Pornography's ties to sexual aggression have been the subject of many studies, articles, and debates over the last several decades. And some studies claim to prove a link, others claim to disprove it, and still others say that both pornography use and sexual aggression are affected by a man's natural tendency. Perhaps the most telling of all these studies is one from 2000 entitled Pornography and Sexual Aggression by Malmuth, Addison, and Koss. In preparation for their research, the authors reviewed past studies on the issue. One part of their study focused on the effect of pornography on males who were low risk for sexual aggression and males who were high risk. It found that high pornography use is not necessarily indicative of high sexual aggression in the low risk population. There was little difference between the aggressive tendencies of low risk men who used pornography somewhat frequently and those who used it very frequently. Although there was a notable difference between men who had never or seldom viewed pornography and men who viewed it frequently. In the case of men at high risk for sexual aggressiveness, however, there was a relationship between porn and sexual violence. The high-use men in this group were much more likely than the low-use men to have engaged in sexual aggression. Viewing pornography can affect not only a man's sexual aggressiveness, but also his commitment to a relationship. Researchers at Florida State University studied college students who admitted to habitual pornography viewing. Half of the students were asked to give up pornography in any form. The other half were asked to give up their favorite food. At the end of the trial, the students were asked about their commitment to their relationships. The correlation might seem strange, but researchers found that the students who reduced or eliminated pornography consumption were much more committed to their relationships than the students who had continued to view pornography while giving up food. That's interesting. What caused the difference? It could have been the lack of pornography's influence, or it could have been the increased time available to spend with a partner. After all, every moment someone is not viewing pornography is another moment he has to engage in real human interaction. Some porn users report that they watch up to 15 hours of pornography a week. That is a significant chunk of time. All right, I'm tired. I'm going to bed. It's a good book. All right. Thanks for being here, everyone. If you want to schedule a call to chat, links in my bio. When you live again, Jono, turn those notifications on. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye. Adios. Oh, make it a great day or not. The choice is always yours.